and got 21 points off of 3 Georgia Tech turnovers. What a perfect night for college football in Atlanta. 59 degrees, very light breezes, partly cloudy, and ready for college football in the ACC. As we told you, these teams have been waiting a long time. We showed you those calendars, and they all lead to tonight in Atlanta. And that'll bounce through the end zone. There will be no return from Dontae Smith. So Georgia Tech has the ball first. Gibbs in that running back position. 2-5 on the season for the Yellow Jackets. 2-4 in conference play. And those wins were against Louisville and at Florida State. And Jeff Sims, the starting QB for Georgia Tech.
Another true freshman. Boy, do you have a nice start. Georgia Tech on the road in the opener, winning Tallahassee. Looked pretty good there. He's flashed, but he's had some struggles as well. So it's been a nice month off to reset a few things, work on some drills.
Sims. That pass complete past the 25 to Gibbs. In that win against Florida State, Sims threw for 277 yards, and it was a season high. Gibbs, our hearty star to watch tonight, James.
Yeah, that's right. And he runs it, but he also catches it, as you see, first play from scrimmage. And Duke plays a lot of man coverage, so they'll get him tied up with his linebacker, which favors the Jackets.
Sims going deep, center of the field, and it's too far for his receiver. Couldn't run it down, looking for Malachi Carter. And back there was Nate Thompson defensively for the Blue Devils.
Well, offensive coordinator Dave Patno told us we have to take our shots. We're going to get some chances up top. We have to take advantage of our shots up top. There's one a little bit overthrown, but it shows you the game plan is to try to hit him up high, to see if you can do some damage on the outside and deep against the secondary.
Sims in trouble. Tries to get away and does so. Kept his footing. Looking for the first down and more. Jeff Sims, escapability for the first down. Lewis took him down, but not before Sims gets a first down for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, and he runs right through the arms of one of the best sackers in the land. Look at Rumpf separate, get off the blocker, but it's all for naught. He misses, and then Shaka Hayward misses as well. What a run by the freshman. Fresh set of downs. That's impressive.
7.5 sacks on the season for Rumpf. Couldn't wrap up Sims. Breaking through the line. This is Gibbs. Gibbs to the 10 and to the end zone. Jahmyr Gibbs. Georgia Tech touchdown.
The big guys up front. We talked about a fast start being key out of the open. A couple more missed tackles, some good blocking by the offensive line. And there's that electric true freshman out of Dalton, Georgia, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Third rushing touchdown of the season for Gibbs. And he went 61 yards, James.
Wow, look at the big guys, a body for a body. They talk about the offensive line, the changes around here. Looking pretty physical early on. A couple big-time rushes on offense.
Forward first, and for more on number 21 tonight for the Yellow Jackets, down to Lindsay.
Thanks, Tom. I spoke with Jahmyr earlier this week, and he's definitely a man of very few words. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, Coach Collins had plenty to say about Jahmyr. Coach Collins told me that during practice, he coaches the developmental team, so he gets a feel for what it's like to coach against Jahmyr, which he said is a very scary spot. He said in practice, Jahmyr finishes every run. He's constantly working on improving his game, and Coach Collins called him a generational player and said that in a few years, he's going to be one of the strongest players in college football. Guys?
Yeah, a generational running back. So I guess you don't get to see one. It's kind of like that blue moon that we saw a little while ago. Very rare.
That was Halloween, James. That's the last time Georgia Tech played. They lost here against Notre Dame. There will be no return after that 61-yard touchdown run by Gibbs to give Georgia Tech its first lead since the game against Louisville on October 9th, when they had the lead in the final 8:40 against Louisville and won that game. Starting quarterback Chase Brice for the Blue Devils. 7 touchdown passes on the season, but the turnovers have plagued Duke throughout the year. Negative 11 on the turnover margin this season. They go to the ground game to start their first play on offense with Deion Jackson, one of the running back tandems that we highlighted. Jackson part of that with Mateo Durant. Jackson a senior, Durant a junior.
Well, and just like Jeff Sims for Georgia Tech, not similar at all, really, quarterback styles, but similar in the sense that they both needed that break. They both needed to reset and work a little bit.
Rice ripped to the turf. Caleb Oliver takes down Chase Brice for the sack.
You know what? No matter which game you turn on, just watch the right side of your screen here. Just nobody's going to be there at all, as turning right into the face of Caleb Oliver is Chase Brice. But any game you turn on with Georgia Tech, Coach Thacker's defense is physical, and they're flying around. This is a very aggressive, fast defense where they got to get off the field on a 3rd and long.
It's 3rd and 15. That pass nearly intercepted over the middle by David Curry. So close to snatching that one out of the air, and it's 4th down for the Blue Devils on their first possession of the game.
Oh, the big man wants this one back. You see him showing blitz and then dropping out of it. Look at him read those eyes of Brice. A great break on the ball. And that one's right there in his paws. The 6-year senior, 2-year captain, almost had himself a pick and a chance to run at the end zone.
That's going to bounce, inside the 20. Porter Wilson's punt down near the 10-yard line. Wow. How about that? 70 yards on the punt, James?
We thought Presley Harvin was the star of the show in special teams.
Well, Harvin leads the nation in punting distance, which sometimes can be deceiving because punting, I feel, is very situational. But Wilson was able just to unload on that one, and he blasted that drive right down the middle of the fairway to the 10-yard line. So Georgia Tech, second series of the game. 61-yard TD run for Gibbs. He'll try the right side. Here's Jordan Mason on the carry.
This is an offense that'll change it up quite a bit here. They choose to go tempo.
Run it again, short of the 20 for Jordan Mason. So that brings up 3rd and short for Georgia Tech.
Again, right over the football on a 3rd down and short. They need 1 yard to move the chains here for Jeff Collins.
Just 36% on the season on 3rd down, 13th in the conference. But that appears to be enough just beyond the 20-yard line. And a first down for the Jackets. Tangelo had the tackle of Jordan Mason.
They're going to have to regroup a little bit there. That defensive line is as good as you get, not just in the ACC, one of the better defensive lines in the country. They need to be physical with their offensive line gets a run.
Sims' pass will sail out of bounds. James, let's take a look at your impact players tonight, presented by your local Toyota dealer. Before we do that, we have a flag out on the play. But here you go, James, with the impact players.
All right, well, Jordan Williams is that big right tackle, a true freshman. A lot of great true freshmen on this team. He's got his hands full in pass situations against these big sackers tonight, like Chris Rumpf, like Victor Dimukeji, who needs
defense, number 0. 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Thanks to Gary Patterson for the official call. Didn't mean to interrupt you, James.
Oh, that's all right. I just didn't want to talk over our official. I thought we were going to get it in.
Good man.
Took a while there. And Waters, the call on. But Dimukeji is special. This senior from Baltimore, Maryland, needs that 1 sack to move into first place. He's been waiting on that for the last few weeks, and they've been talking about it, too, in practice. Here's a free play, and they won't get it up.
4 penalty markers litter the field.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 78, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
78, jack to 4. senior. Jumps off, so now 1st and 15.
Forrest played in a few Egg Bowls. Egg Bowls going on tonight. Transfer from Ole Miss. Back the wrong way.
From the 26. Sims a little play fake. He got away the last time, but not this time around. But he's wrapped up. Shaka Hayward in there to take down the QB for Georgia Tech.
Shaka, there have been some great linebackers there the last few years, and some great pass rushers too from that edge. Guys like Jeremy Cash have been special. And Shaka Hayward from that linebacker spot, as you mentioned, he was in on that miss of Jeff Sims earlier, but there was no escaping the long limbs of 42 that time. So a couple good plays back to back for Duke. You include that penalty of -5 yards.
3rd sack of the season for Hayward. And the Duke defense standing strong. Jordan Mason ran into a wall led by Shaka Hayward. Textbooks tackling, and he drives him back.
Well, and a good job of being patient. They tried to run a little misdirection, and Sims had to be patient himself to wait for that blocker to get back over there and lead the way, but Shaka Hayward saw exactly what they were doing. If they got one of those big 300-pounders up and running, it's not for smoke and mirrors. They're moving them for a reason.
Sims, pocket was crumbling. He got rid of it with the 45-yard line and incomplete. Looking for Harris, number 18. Michael Carter, the second back there.
Well, a nice job, too. Right there, stride for stride. Hands on each other, but that's mutual, and it's a good no flag. And a good job by the secondary, a secondary that's been so thin for Duke. Maybe not so much against the run, but a good job on those deep balls that we know Georgia Tech's wanting to try tonight.
Fair catch is made by Robertson. So good field position for Duke.
And go. The sophomore out of Greenville, South Carolina, tried to get cute with Georgia Tech and say Presley Harvin, he's so cute. No, just, you know, that, hey, the punter is really the first play on defense, and he can flip that field and pin this offense back deep. But Austin Kent punted that first one away. So we'll see what's going on there at the punter spot. Presley Harvin's one of the best in the land.
Kent had a 36-yard punt, but gave Duke good field position. They'll go to the ground to start it with Deion Jackson. Trey Swilling on the tackle. So call it 2nd and 7 from the 46 for Duke. It's going to be a very short game.
Boy, nice job, Tom, by that entire defensive front for Georgia Tech. Just every one of them right up underneath those pads of the offensive lineman for Duke, stood them right up and stuffed that run. Excellent job, especially this left side of the defense to force this 3rd and 6.
We do have some fans in the house tonight, as you have noticed. Roughly 11,000 is the allotment tonight, 20% of the capacity here at Bobby Dodd Stadium. 0 for 1 on 3rd down. This is Brice. Just did get rid of it. Puts an air under it. It's too far for the receiver, Jarrett Garner. And Brice took a shot as he released it, James. Jordan Dominic right at his grill.
Boy, immediately. Just a nice little twist there on the left side of the defensive line. And had a chance, really gave his receiver a chance to run underneath the Jarrett Gardner. A little bit too strong. And lucky that one didn't go flying up in the middle of the defense.
Wilson punting. Man, what a punt. McCollum backtracking at the 5. Lost the handle. Ball rolls into the end zone. And Duke covers up. Touchdown, Blue Devils. Shaka Hayward. What a punt by Wilson. A mile high. McCollum couldn't handle it. It rolled into the end zone, and the Blue Devils cover.
Shaka Hayward, who's been the lone spark there on the defensive side, some big-time plays, hustling down on special teams as well. And McCollum choosing to try to field that ball there inside the 5. Usually those returners are taught to put those heels about the 10-yard line, let it go over your head. Instead, Oh, he bobbles it, and man, what a huge mistake for Georgia Tech. Just giving them a freebie right off the bat and a chance to tie it up here at 7.
That punt by Wilson was 51 yards. McCollum just couldn't handle it. And now Duke and David Cutcliffe an extra point away from tying this game. How high was that punt by Wilson?
What'd you say that first one was? He had 70 yards? I should have made Wilson a player to watch instead of Harvin, maybe.
Goodness. That ball came down with some condensation on it, James.
They're probably wanting to review it to make sure that the fumble was recovered in the end zone. Because on this muff punt, you wouldn't be able to advance it. So that's the only thing I can think of that they're talking about right now.
Gary Patterson is our referee. So they're lining up for the extra point. We're proceeding. Official scoring is telling us the punt was 49 yards. And the ball was recovered in the end zone. So fumbled into the end zone, James. And so Charlie Ham has tied us at 7. Wow, what a play, James.
Shaka Hayward or anybody else, take your pick. Anyone in a white jersey, just happens to be 42, and we just...
Punter for Duke, Porter Wilson, playing a huge part of this game so far. Now, Georgia Tech did jump out to the lead, James, with the 61-yard run from Gibbs.
Yeah, first series after a nice run by Sims. Get a first down. I see your first down, and I'll raise you this 61-yard touchdown. Then second punt of the night for Wilson. Bobbled by McCollum. Recovered in the end zone for 7.
And that leads us right to our keys to the game, brought to you by your local Ford dealer with James Bates.
Hey, I feel like it's bigger tonight than ever. It feels like a bowl game. Momentum for both of these teams. And that momentum has gone back and forth already. Who's going to grab a hold of it and play clean football? That's part of it. You can't give away the momentum that you've built up on defense and on offense in special teams by turning that football over. That's a lot of work to get those beads. Man.
Fans in the stands, it's good to see James Bates.
Yes.
In a limited capacity with the utmost guidelines for the health and safety protocols in the ACC and in the city of Atlanta. About 20% maximum capacity tonight here at Bobby Dodd Stadium. And an exciting first quarter. Long touchdown run and a recovery by Shaka Hayward in the end zone. A misplayed punt, 7-all. Dontae Smith fields it in the end zone, not coming out.
Yeah, an exciting first half of the first quarter. We're only halfway through the first 15 here.
First of all, you have the excitement of these teams finally being able to play a game. You saw those calendars that perfectly illustrated what these teams have been through. Georgia Tech, it's been over a month. 3 weeks for Duke. A built-in bye week for each team in that process, but still, it's been a long time since they were able to hit the field. Flag is out. Sims steps up, flicks it short. And the short hop looking for Gibbs.
And look who's covering Jahmyr Gibbs down the field. It's Chris Rumph.
Offside. Defense. Number 86. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And the shame of it all is it was Rumph, I believe, that jumped off sides. I beg your pardon. That was Rumph's spot, but Drew Jordan playing his spot, and they've got Rumph up in a 2-point stance right now. -5 to Duke.
Gibbs taken down. Marquise Waters wearing number 0, the senior from Delray Beach, Florida, diagnosing that play. Dropping the ball carrier.
One of my many notes right here from Marquise Waters is he pulls the trigger on run support. That's one thing that jumps out when you turn on the tape of this Duke defense. Zero is always getting up there and putting his nose right in it and stuffing that run. He's not afraid to hit.
Georgia Tech runs it again with Gibbs. The ball came out at the end of the play. Whistles had already blown it dead.
Gibbs carries the ball.
So that's going to bring up third and about 3. They need the 35 as the line to gain for this Georgia Tech offense, which scored on its first possession, 61 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, third rushing TD.
3-yard gain on the play.
Youngster lucky those whistles came so early on that one. Still standing up there. He's still headed on the sidelines right now. J.P. Mason now flanking Sims, but both these teams have had trouble fumbling.
They'll run it. This is Gibbs accelerating away from the Duke team. Gibbs cut down near the 20. Mason, Jordan Mason on the run. Gibbs had the long run earlier in the quarter, and now Mason pops one free.
These are shades of the Duke offense when we had them against Syracuse a few weeks ago. Just guys doing a great job on the offensive line, that first initial wave, and then there's nobody home the rest of the way. No secondary anywhere in the area. The backers are walked up as well in those gaps, so nobody able to flow over the top and go and fit that seam right where the running backs are hitting, and Mason almost takes one to the house just like his partner Jahmyr Gibbs.
Mason with a hole on third down and busting through that line.
See guys getting up on that next level as well, but that's Dorian Mayusi. And Mayusi, the freshman out of Detroit, Michigan, that they're really high on playing that linebacker spot. You've just, as a linebacker, you've got to be physical, and you've got to go meet those blockers. You got to go meet them in that hole, because if you don't meet them up there in that hole and they come up and they get to you, that back has so much room with that offensive lineman on you. There's nothing you can do. Help that defense out as they're now in the CPI red zone. By getting up there when you're reading it, go attack it and meet it right at the line.
This is Mason diving forward in the red zone this season for Georgia Tech, scoring 65% of the time with 14 TDs on 23 tries, but that's 14th in the conference. 15 of 23 overall in the red zone. Chance here to get some point production. Mason again. Jamaric Woods on the tackle for Duke. Inside of 6.5 minutes to go in our first quarter.
You know, it feels like in this last month, let them run this play here so they go quick.
They're looking for the end zone. James, the catch is made. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Malachi Carter up to get that one from Sims. Wasting no time, lofting it into the end zone for the score.
Nice job by Sims and that man coverage out there. Just putting it up for his big man. Malachi Carter goes 6'3", 200 pounds, puts it on that back shoulder, and Lewis is right there with him. It's tough to defend that, especially when you got a big man like that for the quarterback's target. Easy pitch and catch.
12 yards on the touchdown connection. Sims to Malachi Carter, junior from Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Plenty of time up front and decent coverage there, but you can't let any space in between when you've got those big bodies. When those eyes get big, you've got to whip that head around and try to find that football. And it's so tough for those defensive backs when it's underthrown a little bit on that outside shoulder. And nice job by Carter. Just look at him, make sure those feet are in.
Nice TD pass for Sims, James. Third TD grab of the season for Malachi Carter. Tied now with Jahmyr Gibbs for the team lead in receiving touchdowns, and they go 75 yards in 2 minutes and 28 seconds. For more on the Georgia Tech quarterback, let's go down to Lindsay.
Thanks, Tom. Before today's game, I actually got a chance to speak with Jeff Sims. First of all, he was extremely excited. His face lit up when I asked him if he's excited to finally be back on the field today. But second of all, he said the last 4 weeks have really been beneficial for him. He's been working with the coaching staff on his mechanics. You and Bates were just talking about that. He said he really feels like he's gotten better from a technical sense, but also a mental sense. And the relationship with his wide receivers, he feels, has really grown over the last month.
Well, and Lindsey, his offensive coordinator, told us just a couple days ago that they've really spent a lot of time working on his touch, and that showed right there. Nice little touch on that ball. He said some of those balls have been a little bit too flat for his liking in the last few weeks, and it certainly shows. That's probably why his eyes lit up so much, because he knew they were going to have a little bit of fun here early on tonight.
Well, his eyes lit up. Unfortunately, the lights in the stadium have not to full capacity just yet. They do this flicker pattern when the Yellow Jackets score, but they haven't come up completely from that just yet. And you can tell just by looking at the screen, it's a little darker than we would like.
If everybody would please turn on their cell phone.
My gosh. Here we go with 2020. So the support staff within the stadium getting on the walkie-talkie and finding out who needs to flip a switch. Gary Patterson, our referee's a little confused. Maybe Jeff Collins too.
Maybe it was that home run derby. Maybe somebody else.
we will get to that. No lack of power in that kickball home run derby and all the other things they did in the hiatus.
They are resetting the lighting system. That will take a few minutes. We'll ask both teams to go to the sideline, and then we'll tell them to come back out.
Okay, so we're waiting for the lighting system to completely reboot.
That's what you get for trying to be too fancy.
All right, as we wait for the lights, you see David Cutcliffe. All you can do is laugh, baby. It's 2020.
Have a little bit of fun, fill some of the time. They ended up playing some dodgeball. They played some kickball. They even had a home run derby. So Coach Collins said they had a ton of fun. Some guys were better than others at some of these games, but he also said during the home run derby, some guys were really cranking it. So who knows? I mean, with the lights being out, maybe they hit a switch. I don't know what's going on.
You don't know what's going on.
Wow.
Look at that. Deep to center and gone. Was that a grand slam?
I think it was. They should get extra points if it goes through the goalpost, a field goal there. Wow. Yeah, he said that one of those kickball teams, he said, could rival any kickball team if there is a professional kickball league, which there probably is. But, you know, and Lindsey, Dylan Devaney was the name that we got out of Coach as he gets the red out, talking about those lights coming back on. But Devaney is a baseball player as well, and he said he was the one that was jacking them, getting them the closest to the upper deck. Nobody made it to the upper deck, but they had some fun, and leave it up to that guy right there to have a little bit of fun and be creative with it. There's one came back on.
Okay, so again, we're waiting for the lights to come up to full strength. What happens here at Bobby Dodd Stadium is after the Yellow Jackets score, during night games, of course, the light, it has a flickering pattern just to kind of celebrate the touchdown.
It's like Freaknik all of a sudden.
And yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, James. And they scored 2 touchdowns. So the first time it worked. And the lights, we're waiting for the lights to come back on Broadway, evidently. I think that's a number from Cats, if I'm not mistaken.
Angelica Cat.
Jeff Collins, his personality has seeped into the whole of this team without question. I mean, the things that they talk about, the culture that they've changed to, and trying to
look at that, look at that.
And the applause goes up, and the sidelines are buzzing. The lights are back on in Georgia. And let's keep it that way, if you don't mind.
Yes. But if it happens again, they should treat it like those baseball teams in a rain delay where they have a big dance-off.
You know, when the lights went out, James, or at least some of them, You weren't here. Where were you? I'm going to keep my eye on you because you snuck away from the booth for a little while, and I can see you. You remember that scene from Airplane where the guy has the little light switch or the cable? He says, "Oh, never mind." And he flicks it back on. All right, so it looks like we are full brightness and ready to go. Austin Kent will kick it away. Damon Philyaw-Johnson, number 85. The deep man for the Blue Devils, along with Deion Jackson. And a 14-7 lead for Georgia Tech. A rushing TD and a passing TD. Philyaw-Johnson to the 20, trying to break free, and he gets dragged down to about the 22 or so. And for more on the recent delay, here's Lindsey Rowley.
Yeah, Tom, I spoke with one of the operations people here at Georgia Tech, and they said that they think they just broke a record for the most operations people on a phone at once, working really hard to get the lights back up. But with these lights being new this year, they said that's the first time that this has happened, and they're not quite sure if they're going to have the same show if Georgia Tech scores again. Yeah,
back to you. That's probably a good idea. But in all seriousness, certainly we commend all of the folks here at Georgia Tech and in and around the ACC for the lengths that they have gone to be able to put on college football this season. And if the lights dim for a few minutes and we have to adjust to that wrinkle, so be it. We're back to the live action with the Blue Devils and Mateo Durant. How about the show that Durant and Jackson put on at the Carrier Dome, James, earlier this season?
Yes, and showing a little bit of that juice in the first. Nice body lean on his first carry there for Durant. Here he goes again.
Bounces off the first would-be tackle, not the second. They went and got him. Tariq Carpenter, number 2. Hit him in the thigh and dropped him down, and Durant and Carpenter have some post-whistle exchange.
Well, Durant, he's a little bit hot right now. He's running like he's mad. He wants to provide the spark, and Tariq Carpenter's not letting him light it up right now. Excellent job by Carpenter to go up there and just attack it right now and chop him down, forcing a 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down for the Blue Devils. They'll swing it out to Durant. He's going to have enough. Just shy of the 35, but enough to grease those chains and move him for the Blue Devils. Catch and run, Mateo Durant.
He had his buddy Noah Gray leading the way. Gray was locked up on David Curry, and he allowed that 1st down to happen. Good job by Durant to just get what you can and move those chains.
Blue Devils basically right in the middle of the conference at 40% conversions on 3rd down, 8th in the league, and they got that one their first of the game. That pass is off the fingertips of the receiver, Dennis Smith, number 14. Jordan Dominic defending for the Yellow Jackets. 6'3" sophomore from Lakeland, Florida, wearing number 42 tonight. .4:39 to go in our first quarter. Jackson is the back. Something didn't look right, and the officials threw the penalty marker.
Ball start. Number 62, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Well, Kwesi Jackson was just walking up, showing blitz a little bit, and Graham Barton, who's the 3rd center to play for David Cutcliffe here this season after the 2 injuries to Jack Wallabaugh and Will Taylor. He's really high on 62 as well, but that's costly there. A momentum killer, taking it back 5 yards. There's flinching right there.
You know, Will Taylor, one of those centers who's gone down, played high school football with Chase Brice here in the state of Georgia. Brice will run it up the middle and get to the 35-yard line. Tobias Oliver on the stop. David Curry, number 6, the senior from Buford, Georgia. Mainstay on that defensive side of the ball for Georgia Tech, and it's 3rd and long.
A lot of times you'll see Gunnar Holmberg in some of those running situations, a better runner of the 2. It's not like Georgia Tech on offense. Chase Brice getting what he can. Getting a little bit more manageable now. Got to get up near that 44-yard line.
About 7 yards on the previous play for the Clemson transfer. Unloads that one behind his intended receiver, Darrell Harding Jr., and it's 4th down for Duke. Derek Allen back in coverage for Georgia Tech, and the punting unit coming on the field.
Good job by this defense. The defense has played well. Obviously, the offense has played really well. The one flaw, that was 7 points. If you're just joining us, a special teams blunder, a fumble into the end zone and a recovery by Duke. We've got a new return man here.
Porter Wilson, who has averaged 59.5 yards per punt so far, sends this one down
Catch made by Josh Blancato
to the 20. So Blancato, the return man. And the sophomore made that fair catch successfully. So Jahmyr Gibbs with the 61-yard touchdown run in this quarter on the first possession of the game for Georgia Tech to make it 7-0. Jordan Mason have done most of the heavy lifting in the run game. Flag on the field.
Stop. Start. Number 70. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's that bowl game sloppiness, huh? After the long break, you got another guy jumping off sides, and that time it was a coordinated move by the entire defensive front, shifting over a gap, forcing the senior from Brentwood Academy back in Nashville, Tennessee, and a transfer from the University of Tennessee, Hoss Johnson, who jumped. So Ryan Johnson hurting him a little bit. It'll be 1st and 15.
Unfortunately for these two teams, a bowl game might be a long shot this year. Both with 2 wins so far this season. That's out to Gibbs. Fancy footwork. Near the 23 or so. They're going to mark him at the 21 where he stepped out at first.
There he is once again out of the backfield. They love him. He's got great hands. He's very tough. Look at him making guys miss. My man Moose, Dorian Mausi, he's got to settle down a little bit. Just go play ball. He's had some really good practices. They tried to stop this one, but they didn't blow a whistle. You got zebras right in the middle of everything.
Next substitute did not give Duke enough time to match up. The next time that happens, out to be an unsportsmanlike conduct against Georgia Tech. Replay.
So the warning for Georgia Tech, not allowing the time for a Duke substitution. That's Gibbs. A little bit of a limp there, James, as he comes to the sidelines.
Gosh, hopefully he's all right to go. And what a shame if he gets injured on a play that wasn't, that they're trying to blow dead. So they tend to him over on the sidelines. Remember, J.P. Mason hasn't had a healthy junior season here so far. He's back out there taking advantage of that long break. He's in the game right now. Glad to have him back, especially now. Gibbs hurt.
Mason's missed 4 games this season. That pass by Sims on a run through the hands of Malachi Carter was not the case earlier in the quarter when they combined for a touchdown.
There's Gibbs getting up from that play that was whistled dead. Or I beg your pardon, when he caught it out of the backfield. Asking for a little bit of help, so let's check in with him. But out on the field for his buddies, it's a 3rd down and long here.
4 or 5 on 3rd down. Sims standing tall, and that one bounces in front of Malachi Carter. He was engaged with the defender, Jeremiah Lewis. But according to the officials, the play is clean, despite the boos from the assembled crowd here at Bobby Dodd Stadium.
I couldn't really tell from up here live, but I'm guessing he's holding on to him. And they justifiably so booing a little bit because he's trying to break it off right there at those sticks and come back to that football. They're holding him up. I guess it wasn't penalty after all because there's no flag.
High punt from Kent. There's a flag behind the play. There's 2 flags. As Robertson made the fair catch, but again, 2 flags were thrown near where Kent was punting from.
Shoot, that's Chris Rumpf going limping off there. We can't have all the stars go down tonight in the first quarter. Come on, guys. Stay healthy.
It's Gary Patterson, our referee. Getting a lot of airtime tonight.
Running into the kicker, number 48, kicking team. That penalty will be enforced 5 yards from the end of the kick, first down.
Just a running into the kicker. And it's actually Rumpf, isn't it?
Well, 48 is the punter, Kent, and then, 96, Chris Rumpf runs into Kent.
So when Rumph is making all those sacks in the NFL, Kent can say, remember when I put him on his back and knocked him out of the game? But he went limping off after that. So, you know, insult to injury or something like that belongs right there. Hopefully he's okay. There he is sitting right there, so no one's looking at him. So hopefully he's okay shaking it off. But he tried to pull up and slid a little bit and pulled the kicker down with him. So 5 yards added on, not an automatic first down. It will be Duke football in pretty good field position here for Brice and company.
It was a 35-yard punt from Kent and solid field position for Duke.
I hope Presley Harvin didn't get hurt playing kickball.
Decline. It is not added on to the end of the kick. First down at the end of the kick.
So it's declined. I guess that means they can't add it on to the end of the kick. They would have had to have kicked it over. And, you know,
because the 5 yards would not have resulted in a first down. Yeah, they elected to take that punt from Kent. Now Brice wants a deep ball down the middle of the field. It was too far for Jared Garner. He's a speedster, but he couldn't catch up with that one.
He can run, and he also had a couple steps on Keenan Johnson. Redshirt freshman from Mineola, Florida, one of many outstanding young players on this football team. And they played 16 true freshmen a couple weeks ago against Notre Dame, and Garner had the steps. Brice has got to find him in that situation. They've had a lot of reps over the last few weeks of throwing that football. Need to connect on a couple, get that confidence back.
So Brice with a higher percentage toss to Durant. Room to run. Georgia Tech side of the 50, and enough for the first down right at the 46-yard line, and 10 yards is enough to move those chains.
You see what I mean with 21 White, Tom? He gets his hands on that ball, and he's hungry. I mean, I would feed him. I would keep feeding him, because right now he's running he's at a different level, I think, really than anybody else right now.
Around the edge. Down near the 30-yard line, and another first down. Durant this time again. He goes 15 yards down to the 32 of Georgia Tech.
He's explosive as it is. He gets up there to that line, and he gets out of those cuts so fast. And you see he's by those defenders that are locked up on those blocks before they can even react. And then at the end of every run, he's always falling forward. Good pad level.
He's got it again, trying to stretch it out. Won't be able to do it. They gang up on him. Caleb Oliver, first man on the scene to drag him out of bounds. After the last two plays to Durant had gone for first downs, this one takes him back.
Who was it earlier? Tariq Carpenter had a similar play on him like that. They've done a good job from that safety spot. Run the right angle. Just like a heat-seeking missile going after that ball carrier and chopping him down.
Durant, who averages over 7 yards per carry, third best in the conference. Play fake, pass complete. Jalen Calhoun close to the marker, maybe not quite enough at about the 23-yard line. So Jalen Calhoun, the sophomore from Greenville, South Carolina, makes the grab.
Yeah, he's missed a couple of games, but he's really good. Watch Curry again, trying to read that quarterback's eyes and get a hand on it. Almost had an interception earlier.
1 for 4 on third down for Duke. They just run it ahead. Noah Gray was in there. Put the head down. Okay, Noah Gray, the senior from Leominster, Massachusetts, converts.
Well, they call him a hybrid player. I guess this is why. He can do it all.
I like that.
Yeah, nice little play.
Usually he's catching passes. He's got the tight end record at Duke.
Well, I like it too, because, you know, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, so many times you see these teams that they can't take the snap from under center. Or if under center, you're right there. Count on that offensive line to blow it up.
Brice looking for the end zone. And a chance. Jalen Calhoun. Back of the end zone. Wanye Thomas was there along with Zamari Walton defensively for the Jackets. And that is the end of the first, James Bates.
Well, some high-flying action early and often. The youngster, the freshman, getting it started. Some special teams action as well. And it's Georgia Tech on top by a touchdown at the end of one quarter. We'll be right back to Atlanta.
They're working their way into that red zone.
Well, they've worked their way towards another money down, as they like to call it around here, in the 404 for head coach Jeff Collins. His defensive days made a living on money downs with those defenses. Mississippi State, University of Florida. Let's see what they got right here on the third and medium.
2 for 5 on third down. Brice, quick release over the middle, inside the 5. Noah Gray with the catch. First and goal, Duke.
Nice job. Find that tight end, the big target right in the middle. Quez Jackson a little bit late getting out there, trying to get underneath that throw. A nice, easy pitch and catch. And they're knocking at the door, trying to tie this thing up at 14.
25 straight games with a catch from Noah Gray, and it sets up first and goal. Brice to the end zone, right to the doorstep, second effort. Duke wants a TD, and the officials so far do not agree. Right to that goal line threshold for Chase Brice.
Well, nice job, too, by Curry. Down at the goal line, you got to tackle high. You tackle low, they're going to fall right into the end zone. You got to stand them up. Stands him up and knocks him down, forces a second down and goal.
The Devils try the leaping attempt. Touchdown. Mateo Durant went airborne for the score with the ball inside the 1. And the officials making the signal for touchdown for the Blue Devils. So they're an extra point away from tying this game. Quez Jackson tried to make the aerial tackle, but evidently, according to the officials, Durant had broken the plane, and now there's a conference.
Well, it took a little while.
Touchdown.
All the explanations that Gary Patterson has given us tonight, and he just says touchdown there. I want more, Gary.
Well,
I want more.
We got to look right here, right down the line, and that's a good call. That's a touchdown. We didn't have it directly down the line, but it certainly looked like it. And if that's our best down the line that we have, then that's going to stand all night long. No need to waste any time. So a good call.
So of the last 12 Duke touchdowns this season, 10 of them on the ground. 1 through the air, and then the recovery in the end zone earlier in this game to get on the board first for Duke with its first points, and now Ham makes it 14 all. How about the work on that drive by Mateo Durant?
Yeah, Mateo Durant. Brice seems to be on target a little bit better, but 21, the junior, is running hard. We've got some good backs here tonight. We've got a good game as well.
But this is the interesting thing. Each team is each other's third most played opponent. And now, because Georgia Tech will not play Georgia this year, this is the longest continuous series for the Yellow Jackets against an opponent. 88th all-time meeting. And another chapter being written tonight. Georgia Tech leads the overall series 51-33 with 1 tie. It leads at home 29-14 with 1 tie. Smith regathers. He's got the 25. He's got the 35. That almost broke away. 29 yards on the return for Smith.
You know, sometimes as scary as it can be for the team and for the fans, that bobble, the ball going down to the ground, or in this case just popping up and seeming to hang forever in the air, it can help out a returner because it helps to set up a couple blocks, and he does just that, takes advantage of it. A good job not blocking by a couple guys right there as you look at it. One of those under 80, Dylan Leonard, doing a good job pulling up and not blocking this guy in the back to draw a flag.
Sims trapped and dropped. Chris Rumpf. Watch out for number 96 in white and blue.
Well, we saw him limp off a couple minutes ago. He sure looks to be healthy, and he looks to be finishing. We talked to him a couple weeks ago before our Charlotte game on the Zoom call, And his dad said, you know what, you're not finishing when you get to the quarterback. Well, he's missed one on Sims in the first quarter. He's not missing any more. Didn't miss that one. Wraps him up and throws him down for a big drop. A loss of 10.
How about his 15th sack in the last 21 games? Around the edge and out of bounds. Looked like McCollum on the play for Georgia Tech.
Well, what did Jeff Collins tell us? He said McCollum's going to get some more burn time. He called it burn time.
I like that.
Yeah. So remember, we saw Jahmyr Gibbs limp off earlier. Now he's back on. Good to see him back out there, the freshman who scored that 61-yarder, first score of the night. He's there with fellow freshman Jeff Sims in the backfield.
We had Mason under center on the previous play. It's a safety valve pass, and it's going nowhere to Gibbs. Blue Devils all over that with Michael Carter, the second on the tackle. And now 4th down for Georgia Tech.
Nice job in the open field again by the secondary. We talked about Marquise Waters doing it earlier. Here's a guy, Michael Carter, in this very thin secondary with all the injuries. A lot of youngsters back there. Michael Carter's a senior that's been banged up, so taking advantage of those 3 weeks to get a little extra healthy. And he looks good there as well.
Kent is the punter tonight for Georgia Tech. Whistles prior to the punt. There is a penalty marker on the field.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 4, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Move the ball back 5 yards, tied at 14, 11:54 to go in our second quarter. John Tavis Robertson is the deep man for the Blue Devils. Kent to punt. A twisting grab near the 21-yard line for Robertson. And Harvin still on the... And they went 57 yards for the score.
Well, some good hard running and catching and running by Durant, and a big 3rd down pickup by Noah Gray down in the red zone, and finishing it off. There's the 1-yard leap across the plane by the junior Mateo Durant from McCormick, South Carolina.
7th rushing touchdown of the season for Durant and his head coach David Cutcliffe in his 13th year. 74 and 85 overall as the head coach of the Blue Devils. Since 08 when he took over, James, 74 wins for this program. In the previous 12 seasons before he got here, 55 total wins. Cutcliffe taking over in 08. The program has made tremendous strides under Coach Cut. We last saw them with a home victory against Charlotte. Lost the victory bell game to North Carolina. This pass over the middle and a diving attempt near the 35. Dennis Smith. What a pass and a better catch by Smith inside the 35 of Georgia Tech.
Wow, a beautifully thrown football by Chase Brice, who's been a little bit off the mark at times this season, at times tonight. And he's had a couple drop. This one, extra tough catch. Great job by Smith.
Jake Marweedy makes the grab. Successive completions. The previous one was for 44 yards to Smith from Brice.
They better hurry. They're over that ball again. There he is inside. Just dropped in there in between 2 defenders. Perfectly thrown. And Duke fans hoping that's just what Chase Brice needs to get that confidence going. Keep that momentum on the side of the guys in the white unis right now.
2nd and 3. Brice through the progression. Lofts it inside the 10. Looking for Harding Jr. It was nearly intercepted as well. So an incomplete pass, and Brice is down. So Brice being evaluated by the training staff after this play.
Takes that pop, and nothing dirty about it. Jahmyr Brooks gets to him and hits him in that left shoulder, and you saw him. He tried to get up, but he's hurting right now.
CPI is more than a security company.
Into the medical evaluation tent for Chase Brice.
Well, a good sign that he can do that. Hopefully he'll be back. And here's a guy who's had some experience, third year in the program, in Gunnar Holmberg, the sophomore.
He's got to go back and get this one near midfield. That ball bouncing around. It's loose at the 40. Georgia Tech football. Oliver came up with it. First play for Gunnar Holmberg.
It's a little high, but he needs to catch that. That ball needs to be brought down, and oh my goodness, first snap after Chase Brice goes into that medical tent. And there's Barton, the center we told you about earlier. The two guys got injured in front of him. He brought a ball with the ACL. Will Taylor getting injured as well. It's NC State. There's Gibbs.
So Brice out of the tent after the evaluation.
There's Gavin Spurrier, Coach Steve Spurrier's grandson over there. The backup as well on David Cutcliffe's team.
This play diffused by Duke. Gibbs driven backwards. They'll give him forward progress to the 40. Coach Spurrier has a history with both of these programs, James.
Yeah. I believe his first coaching job was here at Georgia Tech. Of course, maybe some of the best coaching he's ever done was winning an ACC championship with those Duke Blue Devils.
Back in 1989, the defense trying to get to Sims. He got it away. Carter to catch. Malachi Carter has first down yardage.
How about the work it took to get there? Excellent job by Sims. Not panicking, making a few guys miss, then setting up shop and getting it out there to Malachi Carter. A couple big catches already in this first half.
14 yards on that previous play for the first down. This inside the 5. Falls to the turf, incomplete. Trying to find P.J. Harris back there.
Yeah, maybe not quite on the same page. Harris first looking over that outside shoulder and had to readjust, and Georgia Tech just lucky to get this one back. Moved to 2nd and 10.
Michael Carter, Marquise Waters, both back there. Michael Carter, senior from Douglasville, Georgia, number 26 in white in that secondary for the Blue Devils. Now 2nd and 10 from the 26. Up the middle. Gibbs angles into the end zone. Jahmyr Gibbs, second rushing touchdown of the night, and that one goes for 26 yards. The extra point. 21-14. Georgia Tech has seized back the lead in this one.
Well, Collins talks about the flexibility of this freshman, and he can do a lot of things, but you know what he can do. What's really easy and what he does best is just run fast, straight ahead. Little bit of patience, letting those big bodies go and clear things out. In that second wave, yeah, if you're getting beat up front, those linebackers, they've got to do a better job. Rocky Shelton didn't make the trip. COVID protocol. He's left back in Durham. But you've got guys like Dory Mausi and Shaka Hayward. Hayward's had some big plays already tonight, but guys getting up to that second level. And also linebackers just not getting off the spot and getting the right read. Again, those big bodies that when color crosses your face on that offensive line, it's going for a reason, and Gibbs taking advantage of it. Second touchdown run of the night after the big fumble and the recovery by Caleb Oliver. So we'll see if Chase Brice is healed up and ready to go back at it here with 9:15 left in the second quarter.
So now 4 rushing touchdowns on the season for Jahmyr Gibbs. Now he's tied with Jeff Sims for the lead in rushing touchdowns this season for Georgia Tech. And now both teams have 7 points off turnovers tonight. Johnson puts the shoulder down at the 25-yard line. A return of 22 for Damon Johnson. So Chase Brice had to leave for 1 play. It was a poor snap to Gunnar Holmberg. Did get a fingertip on it, but couldn't control it. Georgia Tech covered and turned it into 7 points. And looks like he's strapped up and ready to go in that huddle, James.
Well, and what a shame too, because it's been something, the transfer from Clemson with Chase Brice. It's David Cutcliffe just speaks his praises and just really likes him, but he's been inconsistent, and I think it's been a confidence thing. And he seemed to throw a couple balls that if anything's going to get your confidence back, a couple of those on those last couple drives, and then he gets hurt.
Wants to throw this one as a receiver near the 40. Calhoun adjusting to the football, and that's out past the 45-yard line. First down and more for Duke.
And you're right, the ball thrown a little bit behind Calhoun, so a good job by the sophomore to look it in. Has to adjust, go back and catch it behind, but still brings it in.
Flip it out to Jackson. Drags some Yellow Jackets with him. Perhaps to about the 45 of Georgia Tech. Wanye Thomas, David Curry combine on the stop, and that ball's right on the 45 into Georgia Tech territory.
And you're seeing here, you see the hard charging at the end of that run by Deion Jackson. You see how these two backs feed off of each other. Mateo Durant, he had to sit over there, catch his breath, and watch his buddy run. Now it's his turn.
On 2nd and 2, Jackson rumbles up the middle. Jackson makes a move at the 20. And they finally catch him near the 5, and a flag came out somewhat behind that play as Jackson was running away from the defense. If it stands, it's 40 yards, down to the 6.
I think it's going to be a block in the back on the offense.
Illegal block in the back, number 24, offense. 10-yard penalty will be enforced in the spot of the foul. Still results in a first down.
The guilty party, you know, he watched it live, and it looked like he was doing all he could not to. He just couldn't resist almost, trying to help us. It's going to come right now from the left of your screen. It's right in there, and there you see the Yellow Jacket go flying.
So they enforced the penalty from the spot of the foul, and the yardage gained by Jackson prior to that is enough for a first down. So it's 1st and 10 for Duke with 8:04 and counting in our second quarter. Duke working on a 3-game winning streak in the series. They won 5 of the last 6, including the last visit to Bobby Dodd in 2018. They won it 28-14. Into the line with Durant. So Brice back into the game, James, as Durant had that carry. Brice is 8 of 15 through the air, 123 yards. Now keep in mind, Duke again, they had a long layoff as well. They haven't played since November 7th. That was a loss at home against North Carolina for the victory bell, 56-24. And Brice threw for 155 yards, did not have a TD pass and threw an interception against the Tar Heels. Lost this one down by the pylon into the end zone, and that is incomplete. Jared Garner hustling back there. Couldn't come up with the grab.
Well, and there's a chance for the sophomore to totally redeem himself. A pretty ball by Chase Brice. Nice little route. Gives himself enough cushion there on the sidelines where he can run the route. Too many times you see guys lining up too near that sidelines. But plenty of space. And you know what? Great job as you look at it. Recovery by Keenan Johnson. The redshirt freshman, he was beaten. But he puts his head down, goes back up there, gets in the mix, and rakes to those wrists that causes the incomplete pass, what could have been a touchdown. Nice defensive play.
3 for 7 on 3rd down. Calhoun on what appeared to be a backwards pass, and he goes nowhere. Wesley Walker on the play.
Boy, Wesley Walker, excellent job. I think he almost tripped into it. The redshirt freshman, another Tennessean, reading and getting there in a hurry. And guys like Calhoun, so dangerous when they can get those shoulders turned around and head north and south. That's why you got to just pull that trigger and go make that play right then. And that's exactly what the redshirt freshman did. Nice aggressive tackle. And look at this. Coach Cutt very upset after the fumble. Then they come out and they're knocking right on the door, but a penalty takes them way back. And now they're forced to punt, or at least it looks like it. You got to be careful of taking this situation.
Or Wilson, situational punt. They'll bounce at about the 10 and take a Georgia Tech roll past the 15. Wilson had averaged 54 yards per punt prior to that one. That one, only 18 yards. Georgia Tech has the ball when we return.
Are you ready for an offensive feast on Monday night? Well, the Seahawks are ready to let Russ cook.
They already know what's going to happen.
Can Wentz lead the
touchdown run by the true freshman from Dalton, Georgia. He wasn't done there, though, from 26 yards out in the second quarter for touchdown number 2.
The freshman Gibbs providing our big bowl moments, presented by Bojangles. Exciting way to start the night for Gibbs, up to 91 yards on 6 carries, and with 2 TD runs gives him 4 for the season. Gibbs, who ran for 105 yards in the game at Syracuse. That was a loss for Georgia Tech on the road. How about his first collegiate play of his career? A 75-yard touchdown return against UCF. Fellow freshman Jeff Sims at quarterback. Poise, complete. Gibbs on the run. Down to the 40 and sliding down awkwardly and still down and shaken up slightly is Jahmyr Gibbs. That play went for 43 yards, but the attention now is on Gibbs. It was a bit of an awkward fall, and you can see him clutching the back of the left leg, James, as he slid down inside the 40 of Duke.
Yeah, we saw him limp off earlier, but this one looks a little bit different. I mean, he turns on those jets right as he hits that midfield line. It just, looks like his hamstring. But, man, he was about to go all Michael Johnson on us.
I don't know that he was not even touched.
No,
just a misstep, right?
Well, no. I think he hurt his hamstring. I mean, he grabs that hamstring, and that's.
But there was no contact by the Duke players, according to the replay we just looked at. He's up and putting some weight on it. That's a good sign.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll be back, but just his body language, I'm not so sure. It's $1 to a donut. It's a hamstring injury, and dang, what a shame. What a shame, man. Is he fun to watch? And just saw the reaction on his face when he first went down. But big play for the offense nonetheless, and even more important now to have this junior J.P. Mason that's been such a special back the last few years for Georgia Tech back in the backfield there with Jeff Sims.
7 carries, 68 yards for Mason. They'll go into the pile inside the 40 to the 38. Gibbs with 4 catches to his credit as well, James, for 48 yards. He's the leading receiver tonight for Georgia Tech. But on the sideline now, and there's Mason.
Dwayne Carter in there.
Mason, James, missing 4 games this season, lower body injury, and most reports are that it's a foot injury, but he's responded from that. He's a player with over 1,600 career rushing yards as well. He'll come to the sideline for this play. 5 of 8 on 3rd down for Georgia Tech as Smith comes in as the back to the left of Sims. Wants to let it loose. Was pressured and got rid of it. Good decision by Sims at the last second to just toss that one out of bounds.
Yeah, he had Rumpf trying to run him down. And see, that's what makes Duke so tough, is they can get there with 3 or 4. They don't have to have all these exotic blitzes to put pressure on the quarterback. There they only bring 3 guys, and Rumpf almost gets another sack. Offense is still out there on this 4th down now. They're going to go for it.
Yes, 6 of 16 on the season on 4th down for Georgia Tech. Whistle prior to the snap. And Duke called the timeout.
Duke. That's their first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
First one utilized by the Blue Devils with 4:45 to go in our second quarter. Georgia Tech with a 21-14 lead. Duke came back to tie it at 14. And the most recent TD run of 26 yards in this quarter to go ahead of David Cutcliffe's team by Jahmyr Gibbs. Again, he had to go to the sideline a moment ago, an awkward step and clutching his left leg. So we'll see if Gibbs is able to return to this game. Again, Georgia Tech, its last game, October 31st, against then number 4 Notre Dame, a loss 31-13 here at Bobby Dodd Stadium. And Gibbs is getting help to the locker room prior to the end of this half, so he'll get further evaluation from the medical staff here at Georgia Tech. Gibbs had 61 yards and led the team in rushing in that loss a month ago on Halloween against Notre Dame, which is now up to number 2 in the college football playoff rankings, and a winner today against North Carolina. Flag is out. Tossed down near the 5, but well out of bounds. And there is a penalty marker on the play.
Holding. Number 73, offense. That penalty's decline. First down, Duke.
So that was a 4th down play for Georgia Tech. And Duke will get the ball back. 4:37 on the game clock. Georgia Tech 2-4 in conference games. And 1-3 here at Bobby Dodd Stadium. The wins against Louisville on October 9th. And remember, James, all the way back on September 12th, Georgia Tech went to Florida State and beat the Noles, who've had trouble just getting on the field the last 2 weeks. Games against Clemson. And then also today against Virginia postponed.
Duke has the Seminoles next week. They'll do that.
The schedule is always subject to change these days. Ironically, though, the ACC as a whole, the only game that's been officially canceled was Duke's game against Wake Forest. We showed you that on our calendars at the very top of the broadcast to see what these teams had gone through over the last 30 days. Not a shifting of schedules, but an incredible job done by this conference and Commissioner Swofford's office and all the support folks in and around the ACC. That's on the Georgia Tech side of the 50 and caught Dennis Smith. And now the final 4 minutes of our second quarter.
Well, they're up there over that ball quick, but I don't know that I'd be in a hurry to turbo it right here as you go under 4 minutes. Let that clock eat away a little bit. Don't leave too much meat on that bone for Georgia Tech if you can go down and score. Remember, Duke will get the kickoff to open the second half.
Pass complete, 35-yard line.
Brice's pass complete.
Eli Pankol.
Number 6, Eli Pankol.
First catch for Pankol tonight as Oliver made the tackle.
Yeah, Pankol. He did it all in high school and didn't even play a lot of football. Great at hoops and then a track star back in Pendleton, Indiana. Sophomore, big body, 6'3", 205 pounds.
High snap. Brice fields it. Fires it inside the 10. Deflected into the end zone and incomplete. Jake Marweedy, the tight end, the intended receiver. Push-ups in the end zone from Wanye Thomas.
Well, I think Thomas and Carpenter both have a shot at it. I think it's Carpenter. There's Tariq Carpenter, who had his hands on it, and then he tipped it up to his buddy Thomas. That's why Thomas was down quick drop with the push-ups, feeling like he dropped it. Man, that would have been a big play for these two experienced safeties. And a good job, you mentioned it, the high snap by Brice to pull it down.
Takes off with this one and only gets to the 30. So now 3rd and long as he ran into Quez Jackson, the leading tackler on this Georgia Tech defense. The junior from Fort Valley, Georgia. 3rd and 9.
It's got to be kind of frustrating over on that sidelines for David Cutcliffe, just when you start to get in a little bit of a rhythm. Last time they were down here, they had the penalty that brought them back. Here you've got a 3rd down and 9 now after you're leaving the ball at will.
And 3 of 8 on 3rd down. This one down to the goal line and caught for the touchdown. Mateo Durant hauls it into the end zone. And the Blue Devils an extra point away from tying this game after the 30-yard pass play. Third and long, not a problem for Brice to Durant.
No, sir. Out there on top, man-to-man coverage with Wanye Thomas. Thomas is just standing a little flat-footed, lets him run right by him, and has to grab onto him a little bit. How about the one-handed catch up close by Durant? My goodness, that's a running back, ladies and gentlemen, snagging that football.
8th TD pass of the season for Chase Brice, 30 yards. And thanks to Charlie Ham, tied at 21. But Durant fighting off a defender, Wanye Thomas.
Fighting him off with his left hand, and with his right hand, he just plucks that ball out of the air. And again, here are some flashes in this game. You're starting to see where if a Chase Brice can get into a rhythm, you see why David Cutcliffe speaks so highly about him. He sits there and practices with him and drills him. He really likes this quarterback. But, you know, you'll watch it, and that's a consistency thing. And I believe it's a confidence thing as well. And he's thrown a couple pretty balls in this first half that have got to be a good confidence booster.
He's thrown to 9 different receivers and has his 8th touchdown toss of the season. James, our Yellowwood 5-star drive summary. Oh, head ball coach.
If it doesn't have that yellow tag of Yellowwood, believe me, you don't want it. Gavin Spurrier's on the team, so I got to go head ball coach on him. I think he's up there number 16, too. So there he is. Mateo Durant, the 5-star drive summary. 6 plays, 63 yards, and 2 minutes, 14 seconds time of possession. Man, what a play by Mateo Durant. Play of the game so far. He took a lot of big ones. Uh-oh. What came first here?
Flag is out. Dontae Smith fielding that one out of bounds because the flag came out.
The receiver was standing out of bounds when he touched the ball. Therefore, by rule, the ball is out of bounds.
Now that's the kind of explanation I expect from Gary Patterson.
The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. Right hash. First down.
Ooh, it was close, though.
Yes, it was.
That's not his momentum might have taken him out. Let's see.
The previous play is currently under review. Presented by
how do you rule that? Because if this is ruled just as if it were a catch, he realizes at the last minute what he's doing, but then he puts that left foot down before the right foot goes down, and the left foot is in bounds. I mean, and the heel, when the heel comes down, because when they rule it with a receiver, it's the continuation of the foot. So had that heel stepped on the out-of-bounds line, it would have been, you can't see it right there because it's blocked, but in that other one, I think you can see green in between.
The receiver was not out of bounds. His foot was still airborne. Therefore, when he caught it, he took it out of bounds at the 4-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10, Georgia Tech at the 4-yard line.
They almost treat it like a receiving play, James, where the foot is in bounds, the catch is made, regardless of what happens as the play continues. Right there.
And it really looks like the way he hopped up like that he was trying to get those feet out of bounds, but he just couldn't bring that left foot with him, and it went down right before the right foot. And just to make sure everybody saw it, he stayed put right there. So, wow, there's a nice break for Duke. Rather than starting at the 35, Georgia Tech has to start inside their own 5-yard line with 2:23 left in the half.
What a great replay on that one by our technical crew in the truck. This is Mason coming around the edge.
Yeah, and this is a holding. This one's coming back.
Goal. Repeat first down.
Yeah.
Marquez Ezzard
he was holding Leonard Johnson right on that edge. That's why it was so easy for the back to get there. JP Mason. Watch the top of your screen right there. That's a pretty easy call. That's why you gotta wear those white gloves when you're playing a team with the white jersey. Hopefully it blends in and you don't get caught.
Lesson learned. Oh, this is in the end zone. Did Georgia Tech get it back out? No, a safety. Safety indication. That was Mason on the carry. Jeremiah Lewis with a tackle in the end zone.
Rolling on the field, ball carrier, did not get the ball completely out of the end zone. Safety.
There you go. There's the official word from Patterson. And a safety. And because that penalty brought the ball back to the 2, James, they're coming out of the end zone. They don't get out.
Well, and it starts with the special teams blunder. A couple big special teams blunders by Georgia Tech. Gave Duke their first touchdown. And here, it basically gives them a safety. Nice play by Jeremy Lewis, the sophomore corner out of Plano, Texas, who's had a few big plays this year. The interception against Virginia Tech.
And you saw Shaka Hayward make the initial contact, James, in the end zone. And then Lewis came in to clean it up. Now, the play is being reviewed, but the call on the field is safety. You must have indisputable video evidence to overturn the call. Did the ball come out, too, near the goal line also? There's a lot happening here. Was ruled a safety by the officials.
Look at Rumph as we watch this replay. Rumph is lined up, standing up, doesn't have his hand in the ground. He moves. There he is, right in the middle. You know, like a linebacker, the big man. That guy's a fun player to watch, and he's part of it, trying to make sure that Mason doesn't get out of that end zone. But there's Lewis and Hayward. Well, looks like
Waters too. Yeah, Waters in there.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Safety.
So Duke has taken the lead, 23-21. The touchdown pass by Brice of 30 yards to Mateo Durant. And you follow that up with the safety as Mason couldn't get out of the end zone. Thanks to Waters and Lewis and Shaka Hayward defensively for Duke. What a turnaround in these last few minutes, James. 1:57 to go in our second quarter. Duke has had great success recently in the series. They've won 5 of the last 6 and 1 in their last trip here to Georgia Tech a couple years ago. First safety since 2017 against North Carolina Central. Right at the goal line, Philyaw Johnson. Now he gets driven into the end zone.
Ruling on the field, the receiver possessed the ball at the 1-yard line and was driven back into the end zone. First down, Duke at the 1-yard line.
Fair catch it, wave his hand and pick it up off the ground. You know, way too many special teams blunders here for a couple teams that have had so much time off to prepare.
Yeah, that's not going to work. That's a little too late to make that fair catch indication. The other thing is, James, that is a free ball.
Right. Well, it's on the ground, so it doesn't matter if he wants to free catch it now or not. I mean, it's got to be in the air. And there you see the sidelines, guys.
Timeout.
At least he went back and picked it up.
That's their second timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
So Duke has taken a timeout. What a strange play. What a strange last 2 plays.
You know, in trying to just think, what was he thinking there? You know, he gets close to the end zone. Maybe he was on the goal line, so it's kind of hard to not know where you are on the field, but just kind of thought that it was going to trickle into the end zone and that he might have been in the end zone is all I can think of. But
well, he had to go get the football, number 1. He tried like a fair recovery, which is not a rule as far as I'm concerned.
And
as far as I know.
Even that was so lackadaisical. I mean, he's lucky that they didn't get down there and pick it up before he got to it.
He just kind of stood there when he picked it up. There was no whistle. You got to get that ball. That is a free football. Meaning anybody, including Bates, can go down and pick that ball up.
He's lucky they didn't try to punch it out, too.
Duke has to get it.
He did get out.
Yes, past their own goal line there from the 1-yard line. Brice, Dominic.
Timeout.
3 timeouts,
Georgia Tech.
too. They'll use one right here.
That's their first timeout of the half.
Time.
Please reset the clock for 1:49. 1:49.
This is a big opportunity, a big challenge for this Georgia Tech defense. Andrew Thacker's got to get his guys ready to hunt these next couple snaps and force this punt, give your offense a chance. Get some of that momentum back that was just stolen from them. They seem to start to have the momentum there late into the second quarter, and then they lost their best back. Jahmyr Gibbs in the locker room looked to injure his hamstring on a nice catch and run across midfield. Don't know that we'll see him again, and then the wheels started to fall off a little bit thanks to poor decision on special teams, not by Duke, but by Georgia Tech just a few minutes ago. Defense trying to get the socially distanced crowd, home crowd, to make a little bit of noise here for them. Through their masks, no less. It's a little bit muffled.
Brice from the end zone. Second down. Brice gets tackled. Touchdown. Jordan Dominic has the football. They swarmed all over Brice, and the ball came out. And there's also
a fumble, recovery by Georgia Tech, touchdown.
Brice took the snap about 4 yards deep in the end zone.
Well, look at Dominic just run right through the would-be blocker, just blows him up. And then knocks the ball away from the quarterback and goes and finds it himself. That's the want-to we were talking about. Thacker's got to send his guys out there with. How about that? Forced fumble recovery, touchdown for the guy from Lakeland, Florida, Polk County boy.
Incredible play from Dominic.
The unsportsmanlike conduct will be enforced on the kickoff, 15 yards.
In the end zone by the defense of each team.
Wow.
It was an unsportsmanlike tacked on to the back of that play, James, against Georgia Tech. Dominic caused the fumble and recovered it for the score to give Georgia Tech the 27-23 lead pending the extra point.
You think the minister of mayhem, as they called Jeff Collins when he was the defensive coordinator, likes that? Well, that's what he hangs his hat on right there. Wow.
So we've had a safety, a recovery by each team in the end zone for touchdowns.
And you know what? Jordan Dominic, the man of the moment right there, number 42, went to the same high school as George Jenkins. And you probably don't know who George Jenkins is if you're not from Florida, but George Jenkins is the founder of Georgia Tech Supermarkets. Would you like that sack paper or plastic, Chase Brice?
That's worth 6 for Georgia Tech. There's a player down for the Yellow Jackets. Kenny Cooper, number 55, being helped up. Gets to the Georgia Tech sideline. The ups and downs of playing quarterback tonight for Duke. Brice has a 30-yard TD pass, but he just lost possession of the ball in the end zone, and Jordan Dominic knocked it away and then covered it. Georgia Tech with its 28 points, its highest first half point total this season in their previous 7 games. A 2-5 record for Georgia Tech, and the lead now 28-23 with 1:42 to go in the second quarter.
You know, Andrew Thacker, the defensive coordinator, he has what he calls a chaos index. Disruption, negative plays by his defense, and they shoot to get 10 each game. There were about 3 right there in that one snap, all by Jordan Dominic.
Stinson, number 14, hurdles one man. Tripped up at the 35-yard line. 22 yards on the return by Stinson.
There's Thacker. Andrew Thacker, the defensive coordinator.
Andrew Thacker was also 2 years at Temple with Jeff Collins, defensive coordinator in 2018. He played collegiately at Furman University out of the Southern Conference. And Thacker is a Georgia native from Cartersville.
He's got to make sure that his guys on defense play this last 136. Let Duke get back on top here.
Calhoun ridden out of bounds near the 40-yard line by Trey Swilling.
Yeah, and that was a nice job by Swilling to fight to keep that outside shoulder free. Whatever it takes, you got to get that outside shoulder free and stay outside. Leverage on that runner. Force him back inside where you got all your help coming.
So both Calhoun and Durant have 3 catches to lead the way. Durant has the TD grab. Brice will unload this one down the middle of the field. Knocked away. Incomplete, looking for Calhoun on the run. Caleb Oliver, number 22.
Caleb Oliver's made some big plays here in this first half. Stride for stride with a speedster there, and he felt like he was in good enough position to go up and try to intercept it. He wasn't just trying to knock that one down. He went up, brought his backside hand there as well, was thinking pick off.
4 for 9 on 3rd down for Duke. Another high snap. Brice has it, incomplete. Looked like it could have been a completion at the 48-yard line, but Calhoun can't hang on to the hot potato, incomplete.
But Curry almost dropping in that zone, getting under those again, and a good job. Too many times now. Graham Barton's got to settle it down a little bit and help his quarterback out. That one was high and hard. Lucky that Chase Brice was able to hang on to that one too. They'll punt it away.
So Brice, after the incompletion, 12 of 23, 186 yards. And one score. Porter Wilson. Mercado, fair catch. Near the 17 or 18. 41 yards on that punt. Askew hobbled slightly on the special teams play.
It's 1st and 10, Georgia Tech, all on the yellow jacket.
So 1:14 to go in our second quarter. This game has featured the recovery in the end zone on a punt, a recovery in the end zone on a fumble by the quarterback for Duke. The lights went out for about 10 or 15 minutes. Not all the way out, just about halfway. That's Jalen Camp on the catch.
A safety.
With a safety. Brice threw a 30-yard TD pass. Gibbs has a couple of rushing TDs, including a 61-yarder on the first series of the game for Georgia Tech. Sims. That summary, by the way, we just gave was not sponsored.
It should have been, though. It was good. And a good little run here by Sims.
Somewhat circuitous, but we got there.
Yeah, Sims moving the sticks here.
James, what I'm trying to say is we've seen a variety of things tonight here in Atlanta.
And what I'm saying is, where were all of those things last week when we had Liberty and NC State? A little bit sloppier, not quite as exciting. as we've seen here in this first half alone.
A 1-point win for NC State, which hung on at the Dome today to defeat Syracuse. And NC State has 6 conference wins now, and that ties a school record for them after last year winning just 1 conference game. So things are a little topsy-turvy in the ACC, outside of the Clemson Tigers, of course.
And I like the Dave Patno, the offensive coordinator, Jeff Collins, running this 2-minute offense right here at the end of this half. Shoot, you don't know, this may be the last game of the season, the way 2020 has gone. You don't know how many more games you're going to get, if you're going to get a spring practice or what. So just working a little bit in live situations and getting some good reps here. A very young football team, especially the quarterback, Jeff Sims. But ultimately hoping to get some more points on the board here against Duke in this football game before they go into the halftime locker room.
Pass was complete to Harris. Ball's at the Georgia Tech 39-yard line. Sims with 34 seconds to go in the quarter, and that one short on and intercepted. He got hit as he threw it down the sideline. Michael Carter on the interception for Duke. Hit as he threw it, interception, Michael Carter.
Well, and just as I was patting this offense on the back for being aggressive and running this 2-minute-0, therein lies the rub. That's why some teams might have just run it out a little bit and gone into that halftime locker room with the lead. Trying to do a little bit too much. The pressure is there from a very good pressure front. And Carter taking advantage of that duck floating up there as Jeff Sims was hit. And now Duke is back in business with 25 seconds left here in the first half.
Second interception of the season for Michael Carter. I can also tell you that the Tigers defeated Pitt today. It's 28 straight at home for Clemson. Brice to the right side of the 5-yard line and broke it up. Looking for Garner. Zamari Walton made the play to force 2nd and 10. 21 seconds to go in our second quarter. Brice from the pocket. Over the middle at the goal line and incomplete. Maybe just a hair behind Jalen Calhoun and trying to go down and catch it. A couple of defenders near Calhoun, and now it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it's going to be Curry underneath as Jackson clears off with the tight end. And gosh, Curry's had his hands on a couple. Not sure that he got a piece of that one, but quite the effort for the linebacker underneath. So a 3rd down and 10 now for Coach Cutt's team.
Durant the back. Brice throws it. Incomplete. Jared Garner got a hand on it. Couldn't pull it in. And now 4th down. 12 seconds on the game clock.
Gotta have it, big man. 8 catches for Garner coming into this one. And just takes his eyes off of it. Doesn't get any easier than that. Couple drops on some nicely thrown balls by Chase Brice here in this first half. Receivers got to help him out a little bit. Talking about that confidence, help him get that confidence back. A little bit of swag there at the quarterback spot.
So Charlie Ham, who's made 10 of his last 11 field goals in 12 of 14 for the season. 35 yards away. And Ham drills it through. So with 7 seconds to go, after the interception by Carter, his 2nd of the season, it turns into 3 points. 35-yard field goal, Charlie Ham.
Good name for Thanksgiving weekend.
Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday on Thursday. By the way, James will extend those greetings to everyone who's joining us on a Saturday night in Atlanta, Georgia. Maybe enjoying some leftovers as you watch Georgia Tech and Duke.
Here's a little recap, just a recent recap, all this activity. Just recently, there's the safety after the special teams mishap by Georgia Tech. The safety coming from Lewis and Hayward. And then here's the Damon Filia Johnson. Thought he could fair catch it off of the ground. And no safety or touchdown there, but it did come here. Boom. Jordan Dominic just doing some headhunting back there in the paint. Forces it and recovers it.
Dontae Smith.
And got Georgia Tech fired up again, but Duke taking advantage of a Michael Carter interception just moments ago and added 3 points on it.
Dontae Smith watches that one go out of bounds, and I'm fairly certain that the flag is against Duke on this.
Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, right hash. First 10.
35-yard line, 7 seconds to go in the quarter that has featured just about everything. Jeff Collins and the Yellow Jackets trying to snap a 3-game losing streak in the series against Duke. 88th all-time meeting. Duke won it last year at home against Georgia Tech, 41-23. Scored 38 straight points in the first half and went on to victory. 28 points and 259 total yards for Georgia Tech in that first half, and they will go to the locker room with the lead, 28-26 against the Duke Blue Devils. Both teams in search of their third win in this most challenging 2020 season. A Saturday night in Atlanta, full of fireworks and excitement in the first half, and we go down to Lindsay.
Coach, what a crazy first half. What a crazy first half. What did you think of the defensive effort there at the end of that second quarter in order to not only get the touchdown pressure Chase Brice, but then be able to get the stop there at the end?
Yeah, the guys are playing really, really hard. Some unforced errors that we've got to get cleaned up, especially in the kicking game. But the guys are playing hard, playing complementary football. This is a really good football game.
Really back and forth game, just like you said. In what ways is Duke challenging your group the most?
They've got some new wrinkles that they've put in. We've got to get in here, make some adjustments defensively. But the guys are flying around. Big touchdown defensively in the end zone. We just can't hurt ourselves in the second half.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys?
Thank you, Lindsay. Georgia Tech getting some burn in the first half.
They go about it a little bit differently, but at the end of the day, one's an offensive mind, one's a defensive mind. At the end of the day, it's all about the positivity, and these are two of the most positive football coaches in college football. And let's see how not only Duke, but Georgia Tech responds here in the second half.
Blue Devils from the goal line. And driven back near the 10 is Jalen Stinson.
Brancato. Well, Josh Brancato getting down there, fighting off a block. A nice special teams play to start as we take a look at the 10 drives. Chase Brice had 9 of those anyway in the first half. One of those turnovers, the other one went to his backup, Gunnar Holmberg, who came in when Brice was hitting a non-throwing arm and had to leave the game. High hard snap, but he mishandled.
Left for a single play, that is Jackson on the run. The touchdowns are a 30-yard touchdown pass by Brice. And Mateo Durant took it in from a yard away in the second quarter. The other TD was Shaka Hayward, recovering in the end zone on a misplayed punt by the Yellow Jackets. McCollum. This pass leads his receiver Jackson. Sliding tackle by Curry up near the 18-yard line.
Good job by Curry. Had a couple tackles in this one. He had quite a few a year ago in the big rivalry game against UNC. Almost hit that 20 mark at 19. There's a 3rd down and 5 after that stop. Let's see if this defense can get a 3 and out to begin this second half.
4 of 11 on 3rd down in the game. Brice putting some touch on this one near midfield, and it falls incomplete. And the flag comes out. Calhoun was the intended receiver.
It's Wesley Walker, the redshirt freshman, It's going to be called for pass interference, and it's going to be because he didn't snap his head.
Pass interference. Defense, number 39. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Looking at it live up here, it looked to be a decent play. He was beat. He reaches out there and grabs that arm. That's where it comes from. But good job to recover. And had he snapped that head around, may not have gotten that flag, but bailing him out a little bit there on 3rd down and long. So a 1st down and 10 now for Brice and the Blue Devils.
45th meeting between the teams here at Bobby Dodd Stadium. Turn that corner. Big hit. Dontae Durant was the ball carrier. Carpenter came up to smash him. Lockhart also there.
Man, this is a pop right here. You're in a vice between David Curry, the defensive lineman. Who's the big man there? 91. That's Emmanuel Johnson. They're really high on here as of late. Mike Lockhart in there.
Johnson's a freshman from Charleston, South Carolina. Brice's pass at the 40 is on the mark to Jake Bobo. That's the first time we've called Bobo's name, and it comes early in the second half. Junior from Belmont, Massachusetts. So there's Gibbs, and it appears his night is done. Crutches and sweats for Gibbs. Had to leave the game in the second quarter. A couple of TD runs in this game for Gibbs of 61 and 26 yards in the first and second quarter. But out of the lineup right now for Georgia Tech. Durant right side. Durant gets spun down. 4th down now for Duke.
Good job by Wesley Walker. Get off of that block and go adjust that angle, flatten out a little bit and go run them down. Dontae Durant is so good, so bursty and explosive to get to that edge and get that corner turn. Be alert now of a punt fake right here in this situation. It's not a punt safe team in there as they have the punt block unit. Return. Yep.
They are going to fake this one. Little jump pass at midfield. Down to about the 45 or so.
How about it?
Carter caught it.
Well, you got to be alert. Nice play call. Nicely drawn up, too.
What a catch. Noah Gray threw the pass.
Had to go back. We talked earlier about the guys going back and adjusting. Those are little receivers. That time, is it Dwayne Carter?
It is.
The defensive tackle. Man.
I'll check the record books, but I'm going to say that might be his first reception of his career. Deflected and intercepted. Tariq Carpenter. Carpenter at the 30. Back across the field. Darting down inside the 25. The pass by Brice was deflected and intercepted by Carpenter.
Wow, after the fake punt, and there, David Curry, I told you he's had his hands on the ball all night long. He didn't get this one, but it doesn't matter. His teammate Tariq Carpenter does, and working hard, trying to take it all the way to the house. A nice return after the interception. And how about this play? Just when Duke really seems to put the hammer down with the fake punt. Next play from scrimmage, it's Georgia Tech football.
You saw the first interception and the 5th of the season for Georgia Tech. Tariq Carpenter, first of the year for him. After the deflected pass by Brice. Sims looking to the end zone. It's a touchdown, Georgia Tech. Jalen Camp with the grab. There is a penalty marker out in the end zone.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 1, offense. that 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. That's number one's first unsportsmanlike of the game.
So the second TD toss, James, for Sims.
Collins patting him on the back. I mean, shoot, you know, if that's the one thing I'd like to see change, at least in 2020, is let them celebrate all they want. You know, everyone's been cooped up for a month trying to play a football game. And, you know, penalizing guys for celebrating after a big play like that. And the action continues in the second half. It started with the interception by Tariq Carpenter. And then the big strike. How about that little touch from Jeff Sims? Beautifully thrown football and camped into the end zone. Georgia Tech 35, Duke 26.
For more on that TD combination, here's Lindsay.
Thanks, Tom. I got a chance to speak with Jalen Camp earlier this week. He spoke extremely highly of his chemistry between himself and Jeff Sims, and he said it continues to grow each week. Jalen said that he loves how Jeff is always willing to put in the extra work and stays after practice to throw with his receivers in order to get to know their strengths better. Jalen said that Jeff really understands how each receiver is different and how important it is to grow each relationship.
Third receiving TD of the season for Camp. That's Stinson on the return. He hops over the 40. It's all that work you do when nobody's watching, Lindsay. And it results in a TD tonight. So just the one play. 24 yards after the Carpenter interception. And Georgia Tech extends its lead to 35-26.
Well, I'll tell you who was watching is Dave Patno, the offensive coordinator. He told us on the Zoom call, he said, you know what? His long ball, it's been flat. It's been flat. And that ball had a beautiful touch on it because it had to. It had to get over that safety and drop right in there. Just a perfectly thrown, nice touch on that ball. Jalen Camp for touchdown number 3 on the year.
Now the senior coming up with a grab for Georgia Tech. Back to the ground game, a punishing run from Jackson. David Curry on the tackle. Take a look at Sims again from field level.
Yeah, and there you see he has to get it up over the defender underneath and lay it in there in the back of the end zone for Camp. Very tough throw. Executed perfectly. Ball's out.
Jackson fumbled. Recovered by Georgia Tech at the 39-yard line. Trey Swilling with the football. Georgia Tech has it back.
Boy, Duke has struggled turning the football over, not just with the interceptions, but throwing it on the ground as well. And look at David Curry again. David Curry tipped the ball that Tariq Carpenter intercepted. Here, he's not going to make the tackle, but he punches out that football. Andrew Thacker, we had a conversation with him this week. Hey, Duke's been known to fumble. Have you really harped on it this week? He said, absolutely. Extra drills of getting in there and punching that football, attacking that ball. It pays off here.
Mason on the carry for Georgia Tech. 4 turnovers tonight for Duke. And 2 early in this third quarter. Interception by Carpenter and then the recovery by Trey Swilling, the junior for the Yellow Jackets. Mason bashes his way up toward midfield. Nate Thompson on the tackle. Deion Jackson had to carry but couldn't hang on.
Well, just when you get in all that traffic, you got to protect that ball. Swilling goes over there and hands it to Jeff Collins, his defensive-minded head coach.
Mason again. Looks like David Curry might have pried that ball loose, James, with the fingertips, and Jackson lost the handle.
That's what I was saying. It was Curry who got a hand on the interception. He forced that interception, and then it was Curry that punched that one out right there as well. That chaos index is well over 10 that they like to keep track of there in the Andrew Thacker defensive meeting rooms. Takeaways, sacks, tackles for loss, pass breakup, negative plays, turnovers, of course.
Curry's playing in his 46th career game in a Georgia Tech uniform as Waters made the tackle of Mason.
And it is a red Curry, by the way. I met David Curry in the locker room here one time. He's red-headed, so it's red Curry.
All right. Investigative reporting from James Bates.
He's a spicy linebacker.
He really is the backbone of that defensive unit. Always seems to be around the football. And now his offense. And how about the poise and composure from the freshman at quarterback, Jeff Sims.
Cage just ran through his guy. Jeff Sims runs through the tackle there.
Sims down that 30-yard line. Everybody's chasing him, and he goes out of bounds at the 25. Just inside of it. Gliding his way for 22 yards on a broken play.
Watch up top first. Watch 51. Just puts his offensive lineman blocking him flat on his back, and then Sims tucks it and goes. Again, runs out of the arms of Chris Rumpf, and then many others there on that Duke defense. It looked like it was going to be a disaster play. Instead, positive yardage in a big way, and a new set of downs.
The middle is incomplete as that hits the turf. Collum was the receiver. So keep that ball at the 24-yard line for Georgia Tech. How about Sims tonight, James? 10 of 18, 114 yards, a couple of TDs, and now with that most recent incompletion, he's 10 of 19. That ball's on the turf. Did Duke fall on that after creating the separation between ball carrier and football?
I think so.
There's a fight for this one.
I think Jordan has it, doesn't he?
There it is. Duke has it. Indication being made. So the Blue Devils force a turnover. Drew Jordan falling on it after that ball hit the grass and the natural surface here at Bobby Dodd.
Well, they keep on penetrating. There you go. Rumpf slicing through there. Knocks it down on the ground.
Defense to dictate the game by not sitting back and letting things happen, but rather making things happen.
And turnover is a big part of this game. Check out the Twitter handles and social media efforts.
Follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. Yeah, get the ball. There you go. Get some followers. You guys need to rewind that at home so you can follow those playmakers on defense.
Chase Brice says, follow me. If you're the Duke offense, that's incomplete. Looking for Noah Gray down the sideline, and Gray is slow to get up. Noah Gray has one catch in the game.
He also has one pass completion.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, that was a nicely thrown ball on a fake punt. Hopefully he's okay. Looks to grab that left side shoulder maybe.
He hit Dwayne Carter on that fake punt. 2nd and 10. Brice has some room. There's a penalty marker out behind the play.
Chase Brice.
There's a Georgia Tech player shaken up. Also behind the play. Get the
Personal
word.
foul. Legal hands to the face. Number 0, defense. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
That's Jahmyr Gibbs.
Timeout. Injured Georgia Tech player.
A little bit too aggressive with
Media
his
timeout.
hands, and Jordan Dominant is the injured Yellow Jacket, who was the big playmaker there with the touchdown on defense earlier. We'll be back.
Ham made a 35-yard field goal, closed out the second quarter, 28-26, and here we stand, 35-26 in the third for Jeff Collins and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Their last win was October 9th here at Bobby Dodd Stadium, 46-27 against Louisville. That's the matchup in miniature.
I was hoping that
small helmets, big plays. That was freaking me out for a second, Bates.
Yeah.
What'd you put in my coffee?
I know.
All right.
How are you going to get above the line if you have a mini helmet on?
Whatever it takes. ATL. Above the line. That's how you're classified for Georgia Tech. If you're above the line, you are expected to play.
Yeah, Jeff Collins, he doesn't have starters.
No too deep, really. The conventional too deep.
Yes, effort-based.
I like how ATL also signifies the city of Atlanta.
It's convenient.
The 404. Brice. Out on the edge. Caught, and the run by Deion Jackson. Kyle Kennard on the tackle. Jackson had that most recent fumble as Curry knocked it away from him.
And it was that, we spent some time, we told you, talking about Andrew Thacker and their approach to going after that football and that near arm on those handoffs, just like he explained it to us right there, where that ball's going to be, and it's something that they have repped throughout the week.
Penalty marker came in at the tail end of the play as Deion Jackson slid down, not on purpose. And the initial indication is it's against the Blue Devils.
But here's some of the frustration, too, that Coach Cutcliffe, I'm going to let Gary Patterson make this
holding. Number 62, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
He talked about the positives, and he's a very positive coach, but he's frustrated by, there you see that tackle, and obviously all for naught with Jackson slipping down, but just the rhythm and the continuity and the consistency is just lacking, whether it's penalties or turnovers.
That's a backwards pass.
Yes.
That's on the turf and available. Georgia Tech comes up with it. Good hustle and recognition. Antoine Owens was number 89. He got on that football. Well, definitely a backwards pass change.
Yes, and Wesley Walker doing a great job of recognizing. It's one thing to recognize. Watch there down at the bottom of your screen. Recognizes and reacts in a hurry and runs right by the would-be blocker, Marwidi, and just blows it up. Boy, Thacker's got his guys hunting on defense here tonight. They got the ball back in the hands of the Georgia Tech offense. That's turnover number 3 after forcing 2 in the first half. So 5 altogether now tonight.
And that is 30 turnovers on the season for Duke. That should be an incomplete pass.
Well, and it hit an offensive lineman, too.
Hit the back of that lineman. Flag is out as well. It was Eli Pankow for Duke who had trouble with that backwards pass from Brice, and then Georgia Tech able to fall on it. Antoine Owens. So we've only seen the one score so far in the second half.
Holding, number 78, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
After the teams combined for 54 points in the first half.
There's a big man in the middle. There's Carter getting after it. It was Dwayne Carter who had the catch on the fake punt earlier. Now he's down there. He's Ben Fry's back up in the middle on defense, stirring it up there and in on that tackle. And look at those notes. He shocked us with the fake punt, just as he did the Georgia Tech punt cover unit. But he's from Pickerington, Ohio, and here's why he had such good hands and was able to go back and get it. His dad played wide receiver at Ohio State, and his godfather is actually Eddie George, Heisman Trophy winner.
Never go against the family, Bates.
Red shirt freshman.
He showed great hands. He had to adjust to that pass from Gray. On a 4th down fake punt. Here goes Sims sliding down at about the 40.
And this is Presley Harvin unable to go tonight. He suited up, but we haven't seen him in the game. We've seen Austin Kent punting, and field goals are absolutely not an option with this football team. It's been such a mess throughout the year, whether they've been blocked or missed. So you got to think this is 4-down territory right here.
6 of 10 on 3rd down. It's going to come up well short of the 35. Georgia Tech does have 21 points off of the turnovers tonight by Duke. P.J. Harris, the receiver. And Michael Carter made the tackle. So 4th and 7.
Got to meet right here and be careful, Duke, not to jump off sides. Those guys, they get so twitchy over there, wanting to get to that quarterback and make the big play. Seen it too many times, not just tonight, but this year. Don't make it 4th and 2 by jumping.
0 for 1 on 4th. tonight for Georgia Tech. This pass juggled on the sideline and incomplete. Incomplete. Looking for Mason. So turnover on downs.
And a nice job by Shaka Hayward. He's had a good night tonight. Making stops on the ground. Here he does it with the pass defense. Right there running stride for stride right in the hip pocket of Jordan Mason. There he is. Little wheel route coming out of the backfield. And a nicely thrown football. Gosh, it's a back shoulder throw. And almost.
Yeah, that was Waters. He thought he had an interception. Of course, that would have been a loss of about 15 yards had he caught the ball, but good for the stats for Waters. 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Duke with the football. Calhoun. And Jalen Calhoun up there in midfield, right at the 50. Fourth catch of the night, Calhoun.
It looks like he's hurt, and that's a tough one. He's a big playmaker. Nice job by Calhoun. Good job by Marweedy this time. We saw him get beat earlier. And I believe it was Wesley Walker earlier that avoided the block and just ran right by him. That time, Marweedy picked up his guy and helped out Calhoun, and he jogs off. Hopefully, he'll be right back for Duke after a breather. But a first down for Chase Brice in this offense.
13 yards on the play to Calhoun. He is now the leading receiver as far as catches are concerned this season for Duke with 29. Durant.
Mateo Durant carried the ball.
About a yard short of the marker. 9 yards for Durant. 2 TD runs in this game. Well, 1 TD run and a TD reception for Durant in the third quarter of 30 yards from Chase Brice.
You mentioned earlier, Tom, that there hasn't been any rain. It rained pretty hard last night late. Hasn't rained at all today, but it's damp. It's wet on that turf, and it shows a couple times there. Durant tried to make that cut and slipped
Into a first down.
Yeah, but it could have been a whole lot uglier if you're a Georgia Tech fan. These guys trying to carry the load on that rock for his Blue Devils here.
Turns it upfield. Drags a couple of guys with him. Curry was on his back. So another pickup of about 9 yards for Durant.
You know, Coach Cutt calling these offensive plays for the first time since he was at Tennessee in 2007. Just taking over the head coaching duties, but he's going to love this balance here. When you run it like this on a defense, it opens up these passing lanes.
13 carries, 47 yards for Durant. Tough for a first down as he adds a few more to the total.
You know, and what happens is you get fatigued, and it's just tough, especially when they're going tempo on you and they're running it, and having so much success. Everybody kind of lets their guard down, and you start to cheat. You got to stop the bleeding. But just when you try to help out your buddies a little bit too much, they hit you with a big play action pass, and it's really costly.
Brice with the time. Wide open man. Garner turns toward the pylon, and he got in. Jared Garner, 28 yards to the house for the Blue Devils from Chase Brice.
See what I mean? Guys looking at each other on the defensive side. I mean, they've just been pounded by Mateo Durant, play after play after play. Durant goes out, but Deion Jackson, you got to expect more of the same. Little play action pass, and there's nobody there for Garner. The sideline is the only thing that almost stopped him, as he almost ran out of bounds with his momentum, able to turn it up, tightrope, and head into the end zone.
Second TD catch of the season for Jared Garner as Ham adds the extra point. And that's the second TD pass of the game for Chase Brice, who now has 9 for the season.
He's going to come all the way across this field. Here you see the play action pass, and it holds everybody. And now David Curry, you know, he still drops, but it's a little bit late before he realizes what's going on behind him. He's done such a good job of staying underneath things. as it looks like he's supposed to be passed off. But a nice play call. Well, that was kind of close there, wasn't it?
Well, he kept his footing and then extended the football, James, inside the pylon, looked like. Look at this angle. Spinning it right toward you. And able to stay in bounds.
Nice.
Officials right on top of it. Garner knew right away. So the Blue Devils take it 6 plays, 63 yards, and they cap it with the 28-yard TD pass play. Brice to Garner on the collaboration. And Duke trying to overcome 5 turnovers tonight, James. They're just 1-7 under Cutcliffe when they turn it over 5 or more times. But they're hanging in there, although that kickoff goes out of bounds and will start at the 35.
Kickoff out of bounds. Ball be placed at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10.
Before we proceed, a message from Bojangles.
Up a box of Bojangles after this game. Well, before I go to bed tonight, I would.
After we showed the Thanksgiving Day feast for Georgia Tech with the big turkey legs and other assorted selections.
Yeah, but
at the buffet.
The real deal fried chicken tonight. I don't want turkey. I don't want an open-faced sandwich.
No,
I want a box of Bojangles. It's bow time in my hotel room.
Sims, 40, and down.
Jeff Sims on the quarterback.
Sims taking off for the run for Georgia Tech.
Tackle made by Marquise Waters.
James, that's 28 yards for Sims.
And it sure looked like a designed quarterback run. Gave a quick peek to pull some guys off and then tucks it and goes. And man, is he pretty when he gets out in the open field. He's got such a bright, fun future ahead of him for Georgia Tech fans.
That ball is on the turf. Sims was trying to hand it off to Smith and it hit the ground.
I think he might have gotten it back.
When they unravel it, Georgia Tech has it. Fumble on the play. Ball recovered by
He's talking it over here with Smith.
How about Zach Quinney, 73?
1 yard loss.
Quinney the one who ended up on it?
I think so. Luckily, we have a replay.
Well, he tried to keep it.
Was that Rump who had a real good chance at it, James? Yeah. Back to the live action with Sims. It's forced out of bounds inside the 25-yard line.
Let's go, Sims!
Marquise Waters on the tackle. Just over a minute to go in the third. The halftime lead for Georgia Tech was 2. That's what it is right now. First down inside the 25. David Cutcliffe relying on the defense in the closing moments of the third. Sims with the time. That's complete. Racing toward the end zone. Sanders. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Got away from his defender and took it in from 24 yards away. Stewart.
With 33 seconds to go.
Adonicus Sanders. First TD grab of the season.
First of all, how about Sims? Most young guys like this, they get the pressure. They're going to tuck it and run because they had a lot of success with it in high school. He stands in there strong, knowing he's going to get hit. And then Adonicus Sanders, seeing this guy in trouble, comes back to that football. And in the process, the defender slipping down, and it's an easy trot into the end zone for the junior from North Charleston, South Carolina, Adonicus Sanders. Is that his first catch of the night, Sanders? First catch of the night. Pretty big one, too, for number 12.
24 yards and a score. Third touchdown pass of the night for Sims. He's hit Jalen Camp, Adonicus Sanders, Malachi Carter. He's got a TD toss in each quarter tonight. The most recent one to Sanders for 24 yards as he broke away from the defender. That's 11 touchdown passes this season for the freshman Jeff Sims. .32-33 after the Georgia Tech score. 33 seconds to go in the third quarter. Stinson. Flag behind the play. Dancing at the 20. Stinson up near the 30 on the return. That flag is way over at the 10-yard line, far side of the field after the 29-yard return from Stinson. Penalty marker with 24 seconds to go in the quarter.
Illegal block in the back. Number 40, return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Ryan Smith, number 40 for Duke. That'll negate the return from Stinson.
Nice little return there, too, and all for naught. Now they're going to start this drive back inside their own 10. And
James, there's Wanye Thomas as well, hobbling a little bit.
Dang, that hurts. There's a bunch of big-time players. Still haven't seen Noah Gray back in there. Here he is, finally. Noah Gray is back in there after he left. So we've seen injuries here tonight. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Toss out to Jackson, upended, 7-yard line. Deion Jackson, over 2,000 yards in his career, rushing in a Duke uniform, and now the final seconds of the third. What does the fourth hold after what we've seen in the first three quarters between Duke and Georgia Tech?
Bring it on, baby.
I mean, come on. The fourth quarter, straight ahead from Atlanta, Georgia, with the Jackets in front of the Devils, 42-33. ACC football on the Regional Sports Network. Chase Brice and the Blue Devils on 2nd and 10. Long ball. Just beyond the receiver, Garner. Brice and Garner went for 28 yards and a touchdown in the third quarter. One of the 2 TD passes for Brice, the other one to Mateo Durant.
That was close. Wow. Looked like a ball that had a chance. Keenan Johnson there on the coverage. So a 3rd down and 10, and this is a big one deep in their own territory here.
Here's 3rd and 10. Pankow driving his way. He might have gotten it, James. It's going to be really close. Had to get up to the 18, and he did. I think those chains are going to move.
How about that? It looked like after about 5 yards, he was going to be stopped well short, and Noah Gray's back down on the ground behind this play. But Eli Pankow, whole lot of want to on that 3rd down and 10, carrying some Georgia Tech defenders with him, and the chains will move.
Teams and Shaka Hayward falling on this one in the end zone.
Yeah, and that started right away. All kinds of sloppiness. It makes for a fun game to watch and to call, but frustrating if these are your teams going at it. If you've got a dog in the fight, got to clean it up here in the fourth quarter. David Curry's been in on a couple of those, forcing a fumble there, forced that batted ball that was an interception earlier. Rump's been back there. That's ball thrown back behind the line of scrimmage, thrown backwards. And there you see, and the penalties as well starting to add up, especially for Georgia Tech with 9 for 87 yards. And look at those points off of turnovers. Tech taking advantage, scoring 3 touchdowns after turning the football over. So with this whole fourth quarter to play, who's going to keep it cool and keep it clean?
Georgia Tech with those 249 yards rushing, well above their season average of 167 per game and 8th in the conference. And Gibbs, who had to leave the game, 91 of those yards and a couple of TD runs, one of 61 yards. Duke has the football. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. Noah Gray was shaken up before we went to break. He went to the medical evaluation tent for Duke. Marwede's in there at tight end right now for the Blue Devils. Number 88 coming across your screen.
Yeah, hopefully Noah Gray's okay. He's second time he's left this game. Just such a fighter. Georgia Tech haven't heard much from a tight end this season on there, and they had one drafted though. Tyler Davis selected by the Jags in the 6th round last year.
Incomplete pass from Brice, looking for Darryl Harding Jr. Swilling there for Georgia Tech. 3rd down. There's Noah Gray. He came out for a second just to see what was going on.
I think there are too many mosquitoes.
He's got 103 career receptions in the tent or not, and that's a school record for a tight end at Duke.
Well, and earlier he had a huge pickup on 3rd down in a situation similar to this. Down in the red zone, they'll miss him here on 3rd. They need 7 as Tech's walked up showing blitz.
Just 1 for their last 5 on 3rd down for Duke, and that pass is too high. Marwede goes 6'6", but that one too tall.
Well, they do go looking for a tight end, and it's Noah Gray's backup, Marwede, and had to be too tall. It was good coverage underneath, so nowhere to go with it. Just chunking it up there and forcing a punt here, this Georgia Tech defense. And we get the ball back and try to add to this 42-33 lead.
Porter Wilson, who hit one 70 yards earlier in the game. It's covered by Georgia Tech. The deep man was Blancato, but he was nowhere near that ball.
And it's a smart, good play by Miles Brooks, the backup cornerback, the freshman out of Jacksonville.
All right, James, well, we have a moment, a message from Works.
Works Landroid Robotic Lawnmower. Available at mylandroid.com. The future of lawn care is here.
Georgia Tech trying to snap a 3-game losing streak in the series, get their 3rd win of the season, and looking for their 3rd conference win as well. 1-3 this season here at Bobby Dodd Stadium, and 1-2 in conference play at home for Georgia Tech. Mason around the edge. Flag came out well behind the play as Mason turned it upfield to the 40 of Duke, but let's sort out this marker with Gary Patterson, our referee. 24 yards if it stands.
Holding, number 83, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Dylan Devaney, and there he is. And again, it's easy to call right there in front of the official when you're tackling guys, pulling them down by their jersey and helping Mason get that edge. So it's a good call, but it's unfortunate. If you're a Jacket fan, Jeff Collins not happy with it. 1st down and 20 now instead of that nice gainer up near midfield for J.P. Mason.
Sims has run it for 76 yards tonight on 9 carries and thrown it for 142 yards. Pocket deteriorates. Sims evacuates. He gets pushed out of bounds at his own 40.
Thought you were going to start singing an INXS song there for a second.
You want me to?
Evacuate, disintegrate. You remember that song?
I don't know. Give me a few bars. I'll let you know if it's familiar.
I just gave it to you.
No,
you started it.
You got to do better than that, Bates. I don't care what time it is. I don't care if it's 10:20 on the Eastern Seaboard here in Atlanta, Georgia. By the way, we thank all the folks at Georgia Tech for being such gracious hosts over the last few days to our production crew. This is up to the 45 for Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason carries the football.
Unfortunately, Gibbs had to leave the game in the second quarter.
Yeah,
the freshman running back for Georgia Tech.
He's been special all year long, Jahmyr Gibbs, and a lot of that time, Mason's been banged up. There he is, the crutches to the side with the street clothes on, the sweatsuit and the mask. Unfortunately, he had the 61-yard touchdown run and then one from 26. There's a nice catch and run.
Little window dressing there on that play, and it's a first down rush up to the 47 for Jordan Mason. A little clock control right here, James, in the fourth for Georgia Tech.
Hey, whatever it takes, give it to the man that's healthy and with the experience, J.P. Mason.
Did you go Imagine Dragons on me just then?
No.
Whatever it takes?
No, but
pretty sure you did.
Mason's been dragging defenders throughout the night. Imagine that. So taking their time.
Should we revisit your keys to the game, Mo and Mentum?
Well,
who's got it now?
Hey, it has definitely been like a ping pong game with the momentum. And Jordan Mason is really starting to get lathered up just when they need him to here for Georgia Tech behind that big offensive line that's done a really good job of opening up some holes against a very good defensive front for Duke. Nice little gain there on first down.
So Mason is now the leading rusher for this team, James. He's got 98 yards on 18 carries. Nice night for Jordan Mason, junior from Gallatin, Tennessee. Second and short. Guess who? Like a torpedo through that line. Slicing through the Duke D for Mason. And the clock is rolling. Impressive, James.
Yeah, and it's every snap, and they know it's coming, and that's what's really impressive. You know, you look at this monumental change on offense. Dave Patno, the offensive coordinator, that we've all talked about ad nauseum around here. When you go from the triple option and then the transition over to these big bodies that they now want that don't cut anymore, but that are going to go toe-to-toe with big guys like Rumpf, Ben Fry, Derek Tangelo, and Victor Dimukechi. You can hold their own. That's what makes it really impressive. Look at
the mesh was good there. The handoff up the middle to the end zone. Dontae Smith takes it to the house for Georgia Tech.
But when you can run the football, just as we talked about running the football, how it sets up the run, it also, you get guys cheating when they are running the football, not just on a play-action pass type of situation, but when a back has great vision like that and can see a hole open up and can find that daylight and make it there like Smith, with you got guys crashing down a little bit too hard trying to help out because you're just trying to stop the bleeding, do something to make it stop. They take advantage of it. And how about Smith? Seeing it, it's 88 out the gate, right into the paint, leaving Duke Blue Devils in his dust. It's
of the year for Dontae Smith, 36 yards to the end zone. And a lot of great work done on that drive by Jordan Mason, who's gone over 100 yards for the third time in his career. Mason with 108 and the leading rusher for Georgia Tech. And that rushing attack, James, how about 323 yards for Georgia Tech on the ground.
Wow. Well, Jordan Mason, his first 100-yard rushing game was against Duke last year in his career.
(49-33). The difference was 2 at halftime. 28-26. Stinson dragged down past his own 40.
Stinson returns the kickoff.
Stinson with a 39-yard return. So great field position for the Blue Devils. And Chase Brice, who has gone over 3,000 yards passing in his career with his effort tonight. Of course, he played the majority of his career at Clemson before transferring to Duke, part of the national champs in 2018. Brice tonight, James, 260 yards, 18 of 37, and 37 attempts is what he's averaged over the previous 2 games, and he's hit that number tonight against Georgia Tech. He's got the 2 TD passes and 1 interception. Brice dodges some defenders. Yellow penalty marker on the field as Brice got to the 45 on the scramble.
Holding, number 63, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
You know, I'll say this. As a former linebacker, it's frustrating to watch all the guys that get held play every play in college football. And they've called it, but they've called it throughout the night. They usually don't call it this much, but they called it early and they've continued to call it. They've been very consistent calling the holds here tonight. But I don't think that that's the case really when you look across the college football landscape in this day and age.
This is Bobo. Falls forward near the 45. They'll mark him at the 44. James Bates, a member of that 96 national championship team at Florida. We mentioned Steve Spurrier earlier in the broadcast. He was the former head coach at Duke and also on the staff at Georgia Tech, and led James and his Gators in '96 to the national title.
Yeah, won an SEC, a few of them here in Atlanta. The Gators have a chance to go back there at the end of this season and wrapped up Kwesi Jackson in company. Coach Spurrier's grandson's over there on the sidelines on David Cutcliffe's Duke Blue Devil team. Backup quarterback. Steve Spurrier Jr.'s son.
3rd and 6.
There he is. I wonder what Coach Spurrier thinks about his grandson wearing that Tennessee orange hat. Huh?
There is a Blue Devil logo on it.
I know,
it's a big deal.
But still, man, that's the wrong one. Here's a 3rd and 6 and a big one here for Duke. Blue Devils need to get something going here.
8.5 minutes to go in the 4th. Chase fires and knocked away, and 2 flags at least, maybe 3 over there. Looking for Bobo.
Whatever it takes, that'll move the chains. Sims.
Pass interference. Defense, number 16. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Transfer from Michigan. Called up top, and easy call right there. Looked like he grabbed his face mask as well, just grabbing whatever he could. But again, you just got to trust it. He's in position. You know, just what you rep in practice, just snap that head around and go find that ball. Make a play on it.
Bobo has a couple of catches tonight. No one is going to catch that one.
And justifiably, they're asking for a flag. It was the defender was there a little bit early. Jalen Calhoun, the other guy who was banged up earlier. Good to see him back out there. Duke sure needs his playmaking ability in situations like this. Won't get the flag, so it's 2nd down and 10 now.
Calhoun leads Duke with 4 catches for 50 yards tonight. Little pump. Trying to buy time. Sack, Georgia Tech. Stone on the play for Georgia Tech.
Well, just working. Look at the big man. You got to finish. You got to finish. Coach Cutt was talking about earlier, you got to finish on defense. You got to finish. I mean, everything is about finishing. Everything is about playing through that whistle. And the offensive tackle right there just let Stone just outwork him. He wanted a little bit more. Good job by Georgia Tech to drop Brice again.
First sack this season for Stone over the middle. Bouncing around and incomplete. Jake Bobo was the intended receiver. Had he caught it, he might have been a little bit short of the 29. That was the line to gain for Duke. 4th and 16 now, James. And at 49-33, probably got to go.
I don't know that you have to, but it sure would have been a lot easier play call if had that ball been caught, and it should have been caught. You're trying to dig yourselves out of a hole. You're trying to help your quarterback out, go win a football game. You got to hang on to those footballs. Instead, it's 4th and 16 now.
They are 1 for 1 on 4th down, but this is 4th and long. Another sack at midfield. Jordan Dominic dominating for Georgia Tech.
Absolutely. And he's just a sophomore. A lot of young pups on this Georgia Tech team. Polk County, Lakeland, Florida. A lot of great defenders have come out of there. Guys like Ray Lewis.
He's out for every game. He always gets inspiration because he looks up this way. And if you look over my shoulder, there's a picture taped up in this box, and it is of his wife, Jennifer, and his daughter, Astrid. And he said they always seem to bring him inspiration, and so he always takes a glance up here as he runs out for every game. I'm sure Jennifer and Astrid are watching at home right now, probably pretty happy with what's going on.
Well, they have to be happy with the effort That's for sure, Lindsey. And the culture, of course, that Jeff Collins has brought to town has just been phenomenal. They aren't the only ones that are happy, but tons of Georgia Tech fans happy with the culture of what he calls a sleeping giant here at Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets. And maybe the Collins family can go celebrate at Waffle House at the end of the night. What do you think? That'd make Coach plenty happy.
Yeah.
They just got to be happy, though, Tom and Lindsey, to be out there playing football after a month off. That's for sure.
No question about it. 462 total yards from Jeff Collins and his offense after getting just 238 in their most recent game a month ago on Halloween against Notre Dame, which is certainly one of the top teams in all of the country. Victory against Clemson, number 2 in the college football playoff rankings. They beat North Carolina on Friday. Dontae Smith is in there. You saw Mason was shaken up before we left you. He did trot to the sidelines, so he did get up and leave the field under his own strength. Inside of 7 minutes to go in the fourth. Tom Wormy, James Bates, Lindsey Rowley, our outstanding ACC football production crew with you from Atlanta, Georgia, in Bobby Dodd Stadium. A lot of history and tradition here. And Jeff Sims writing his own history in his first season as the quarterback for the Yellow Jackets on 3rd and 7. He's got it.
Jeff Sims on the quarterback keeper.
6'3", 215, the freshman from Jacksonville, Florida.
So dangerous, as bursty as can be.
Bursty.
Puts his foot in the ground and just goes. It's 10 before you know it. And you throw on the fact that he's got his touch back a little bit. His offensive coordinator there in the middle of your screen, Dave Patno, we talked about. He's working on getting his throwing back, his accuracy back, and that's certainly shown up tonight. I'll be excited about the way their freshmen played about tonight.
Patno was the offensive coordinator at Temple with Jeff Collins. Coach Collins, 2 years the head coach at Temple. He had 15 wins.
Timeout. Duke. That's their first timeout of the half.
In the first 2 years by a head
Timeout.
coach in school history at Temple, and then on to Georgia Tech. They went 3-9 last year, 2-6 in conference play. This would be their 3rd win of the season tonight if this score holds, with 5:45 to go in the fourth. How about the ground game, James? Let me give you the number. 337.
There's the freshman early in this game. 61-yard sprint to the end zone. Jahmyr Gibbs. There's J.P. Mason getting involved. They're glad that he's healthy, that's for sure, especially after Gibbs went down with the hamstring injury. There's touchdown number 2 by Gibbs. 26-yard run right there. And here's Jeff Sims doing his thing. And of course, Smith as well. The last touchdown scored by Georgia Tech a few moments ago.
Sims, the dump off. Short range. Jack Coco.
Yeah, Coco de Rock.
Timeout.
Coco giving it to Duke.
Second timeout.
There's Mason being attended to. A little wrap on that left ankle. So the Yellow Jackets, they like Saturday night. It's all right for fighting against an ACC opponent. How about looking for 8 straight Saturday night home wins?
They like it under the lights, except for when they go off for about 10-15 minutes.
That was a bit odd, a tad askew earlier in the first half, wasn't it, Jack?
It's like it's kind of a bummer because it was a dance party after every touchdown by Georgia Tech, and now they're scared to do it. So hopefully when we come back on Thursday night, December 10th,
that's right,
for the Pitt game,
yes,
hopefully they'll have that house party rocking once again.
We showed you how all the schedules were reworked, and here's what you've got remaining for Georgia Tech. At NC State, which won at the Dome against Syracuse today. Then that's a Thursday game, December 10th against Pitt, which lost to Clemson. And this is their only game in November. As they roll inside the 25-yard line for a first down, and Sims is going to be over 100 yards tonight. He got 11 on that carry.
How about some of this young talent that Collins has brought in here too. You know, here's a guy, you go back before those Temple days, before the Mississippi State, the Florida days. He recruited for Nick Saban at Alabama. Crimson Tide, big win there at Auburn. But, you know, it's where you help to kind of come along and you develop that process. The competition is king, and competition is absolutely king over in Tuscaloosa. You know, you fight and you earn these spots every single day at practice.
This is Smith. Smith to the end zone. Dontae Smith, second rushing TD of the night. This one for 22 yards.
Big smile for Smith as the big dogs down there giving him some love. This is an offensive lineman's dream, the way that they've gotten after it, pounding this rock here tonight. Hugs all around for Dontae Smith.
369 total rushing yards, a season high for Jeff Collins and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Did well to catch the snap. And Sims gave it to Smith, and he did the work.
A good job, too. You see there on the right side of your screen, Adonicus Sanders blowing his guy.
James, watch Sims at the end when he gets in the end zone. He'll tell us how many touchdowns he has tonight. Watch him. Watch him. 2. He put up 2 fingers.
Kids these days also call that the deuces.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, so wow. I don't know. It could go either way. I'm not sure.
Man.
I'm not really hip to that, dude.
They've waited a month to celebrate, and they're doing it tonight. As I just mentioned, 369 rushing yards, 515 yards of total offense to Dave Patno, Jeff Collins, and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets tonight. This Duke defense, not awful against the rush, James. They were 9th in the conference, allowing about 178 yards per game. Tonight is a different story for Duke defensively against that Georgia Tech ground game. Traylon Stinson deep. Fields it around the 9. I think David Cutcliffe was looking for a better performance from his group in the second half. He had high hopes about this second half, but most of this has belonged to Georgia Tech. Although Chase Brice has thrown for 273 yards and a couple of TDs on 40 attempts. We may see the backup Gunnar Holmberg, who played 1 snap, and it was a bit above his head, off his fingertips, and Georgia Tech recovered it. Brice with the helmet off, Holmberg helmet on.
And this has been one of the better performances for Chase Brice. It just, I think he's played better, I think, than when we've seen him. Anytime we've seen him up at Syracuse, he's just handed the ball off for the most part. Had a little bit of trouble there with the turnover still. And it looked like they got a few things cleaned up. Threw a pretty ball here tonight.
Yeah, that 273 number for Brice is a career high. That bests his performance at Notre Dame at the beginning of the season, where he threw for 259 yards. That one to Marweedy for Holmberg.
How about this? Marweedy, and you know, and here comes Gunnar and against North Carolina in an ugly game that Duke would also like to forget that one. Gunnar Holmberg goes 7 of 9 through the air. And this is really what he does good, too, is running the football out of a dual threat.
Yeah, consider what the Duke defense has allowed, James, in the last 2 games. You mentioned the Carolina game. They gave up 573 yards of total offense in that one. And tonight they've allowed 515 yards of total offense to Georgia Tech. That is way above Tech's average of 374 per game as far as total offense is concerned. All those numbers mean that Georgia Tech with the big advantage, especially on the ground.
Georgia Tech, those Adidas have done some running here tonight. Up and down Bobby Dodd Stadium, and you weren't sure what you were going to get from a football team after that month-long hiatus. A little bit of sloppiness, but a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, how did you get out of that congested area? And throw the pass complete. Inside the 30, Pankol. Now Pankol has an alley to the end zone. And he'll get in there. Touchdown for Duke. Eli Pankol. That's 55 yards as Holmberg got out of traffic, but look back at the 50. Yep. Flag on the play. Holmberg extended the play, but
Ineligible downfield. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Just a crusher. Coach Cutt can't believe it. I mean, Pankol, any chance he's gotten tonight. He's had some fight. And talk about the fight. Look at Holmberg. We should have been down on the ground. It took so long. No wonder those offensive linemen are down the field. But look at Pankol. Einhorn. Pankol going all the way to the end zone, but all for naught with the flag.
Well, there were struggles early this season for Duke. They lost their first 4 games for the first time since '06, and in that year they went 0-12. If this score holds, and it appears that it will, with just over 3 minutes to go, Duke will fall to 2-7, 1-7 in conference play, and 1-4 away from Durham, and that was almost an interception. Avery Scholl push-ups after letting that one slip away. Calhoun was the intended receiver. 5 turnovers for Duke tonight, and that resulted in 21 points by Georgia Tech off of those turnovers. And that's really been the theme. That's now 30 turnovers for the season for Duke. And the turnover margin for them now is going to be a -13 on the season. Pass complete to Bobo. A little bit of pushing and shoving in front of the Duke bench.
Jackson got a little bit of the Bobo elbow.
2:45 and counting in the 4th. So Georgia Tech, despite that career night from Chase Brice, as he chats with Marweedy, will improve to 3-5 and 3-4 in conference play and 2-3 at home. Durant. David Curry on the tackle.
Curry's a hustler. What a great leader. Jeff Collins, Andrew Thacker have over on the defensive side of the ball right there in the middle. We're going to miss him when he's gone. Captain for 2 years now at Georgia Tech. Still in there charging hard with 2 minutes left to play in this long football game here tonight on a Saturday night in Midtown Atlanta.
Garner, he's got a touchdown grab tonight. Next up for the Blue Devils, next Saturday at home against Florida State. Duke has never won in that series, James. 0-20 against Florida State. They haven't played since 2017. That was a close game, though. 17-10, but a win for Florida State. Well, they played in the title game, remember that? In Charlotte, they played in 2013, but it was a dominating win for Florida State in the ACC championship game scheduled for December 19th this year, James. It looks like it could be a rematch, right, in that title game, December 19th, James?
I don't think it's a rematch of that Florida State Duke.
No, you know what I mean.
I know.
A rematch from this season.
Absolutely, yes. And I can't wait to watch Clemson and Notre Dame.
And remember the key part of that, right? Trevor Lawrence did not play in that game against Notre Dame this year.
Right. And he finally got to play after about a month off for him as well. With the COVID test and the bye week, and then, of course, the trip to Tallahassee for just a vacation.
Clemson won today 52-17 at home against Pitt, the last team to defeat them at home back in 2016. That's now 28 in a row at home at Memorial Stadium in Death Valley for the Clemson Tigers.
And they wore the purple today, too.
The regalia.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Purple's okay.
The Volunteer State.
How about the guy from Gallatin, Tennessee, Jordan Mason, with a couple of TD runs of 36 and 22 yards.
No Sevier County High School Smoky Bears, though, unfortunately. Maybe one day. There we go. Pumping them up.
The 11,000 that were allowed into the stadium due to the health and safety protocols will watch the final seconds tick off the clock. David Cutcliffe and the Blue Devils will leave with a loss. It's their first in the last 4 games. They had a 3-game winning streak in the series, but that is over now thanks to the 56-33 win for Jeff Collins and Georgia Tech here in Atlanta in Bobby Dodd Stadium. Ground game, James. Ground game. 377 for the Yellow Jackets. 273 yards passing and a couple of TDs for Chase Brice.
And this is one of the college football traditions that I miss a lot.